Boop. Hello. It was all going so well, and then things happened. Yeah. Welcome to Alignment Unknown, episode 9. Name coming later, because Steve writes the names after we've recorded. Spoilers. Normally it's just a funny line from the episode, and other times...
Feast of St. Stephen.
Pardon?
I've named this episode.
Admittedly, he is currently out cold in the middle of a graveyard, so...
We shall see. Let's yes. Woo! So, just so you're aware, first of all, welcome to the Y Theatre. If you would like to rent this room, it is 25... Sorry. This is my other job.
How much?
It's £25 an hour. 18.75 if you're doing
It's very
it.
spacious.
Do we need to pay for this room, Stephen?
Adam, you don't know what's going to happen afterwards.
Oh wow.
I'm out.
What?
I'm out.
No, come out. You're not allowed.
It's
I
fine,
don't
it's
wanna.
fine. As the person who says what comes in, what comes out, I have the liberty to go, oh, it's free for 3 hours. That's £75 we'll never get back, but at the same time, thank you. Anyway.
Please stop talking about this.
I can think of a new beginning might be in order.
Edit point.
And they think I'm going to edit this.
I know you're not.
Anyway, welcome to the Y. We are recording in here for technical difficulties.
That's a
Because
different podcast.
yes,
This is a different podcast.
yes, unfortunately we're not that talented.
Thank you, Tom Scott.
We're having some slight issues with our setup with such, so we have set ourselves here in this beautiful room. You can see Hannah slowly breaking down into her paper and into her timeless china mug.
How many fingers have you had already? You've had 3.
I mean, that's actually quite...
As Adam slowly turns into Sid James. Anyway,
I say
So-
Free Baby's quite conservative.
okay.
You are.
Let me ask this
I'm
question:
not conservative, yes.
Are there any announcements from you lovelies?
What date is it going out?
This would be going out tomorrow, so the 15th of July.
No.
The video would be going up on the Wednesday.
I mean,
so
if
the
you're in
17th.
Sheffield on the 7th of August, come to Little Chicago and watch me do comedy.
If you're listening to this like as a late thing, because I know you
Well,
all
that's
listen
like
when it comes out on the day, right?
We definitely do.
Redbubble, buy some merch.
Yes,
Merch.
if you look over that way, there is some lovely new text. No,
are we helping?
just directly up for you, Hannah. There we go. There's some lovely text saying buy stuff as they all stare at it. It says for you guys, it says buy our merch and then the link to Redbubble, and then join our Patreon and has the link to Patreon.
Just give us money!
If I got a link saying buy our mech and they can buy a giant 24-foot tall robot suit.
Take
Oh my
the
God,
form
buy
of free nerds.
cosplay pivot.
Yeah. I did see a video of a child and the actual guy dressed as like a Baymax, and he's clamped his arm, and I was like, it's Pivot hugging. And this child like full on runs, just goes boing.
Love.
Right, so any other announcements, things that you want to talk about?
I love everybody.
You love everyone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
That's horrible.
I've learned swear words now.
Yeah.
I will translate. Hannah vomited. Kyra called her a bitch. Onwards to D&D.
So that's announcements from these 3 that I've heard. I will do announcements of shameless plugging Friday mornings or Friday daytime, whenever you like. Slings and Arrows will be releasing episodes. That's a duet podcast I now DM. Because one podcast was not enough. I have all the time in the world.
He has all the time in the world.
I don't know if it was those 2 singing or if it was my crippling self-doubt that just started to ring through my ears.
It's
but
both.
it's okay. It's okay. Because I've recently been watching Stranger Things,
like fucking
and I've seen that
stereo.
everyone loves the Demogorgon, so I can just bring the Demogorgon into this episode, right?
Oh, also, they can fuck off calling that thing a mind flare. Carry on.
The end.
I'm going to argue that technically, without spoilers, they have reimagined the Mind Flayer community very well.
I've not seen it.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Shut
The
up.
description is wrong.
Oh yes, it is.
Calling that thing the Mind Flayers.
That thing is obviously the Elder Brain, but
I know what's coming up.
yeah, because you know what an Elder Brain is. Anyway,
I do actually.
I can't remember your
I've
fucking
listened to
character,
it
but you
as
can
well.
remember an Elder Brain.
All I'm saying, it's
No.
pretty.
No.
Oh,
No.
I'm just saying it's the best season yet.
Okay.
It was
It was-
very good.
yeah.
And oh my god, the ending, yes, Kyra.
Oh!
My heart genuinely beat for the first time in about 6 years, and it hurt. And I wanted to cry,
Right,
but I was too busy cuddling another person who was crying.
I'll
Because-
admit, it's not my
So we've established I'm not going to watch Stranger Things.
it's not my most proud wank. But
What?
Sorry, what?
Fuck me!
What was it?
But,
Sorry,
but it worked.
what was that one?
It's not my most proud one, but
I
I
hate
got
you.
the job done.
I hate you.
I'm glad it wasn't just me who was thinking it then.
That
Anyway,
was
so
well timed with what I was
just
reading.
Oh god. Pulsing moment.
Jerk
Did
chicken.
you have a pulsing moment, darling?
right. It's been long enough. I'm gonna hit the theme slide, and we're gonna try get into the fucking game. It's gonna be fine. Theme slide.
System error. Alignment. Unknown.
And we're back with Kyra having a mental breakdown. My audio is going hilarious because someone forgot his iPad when we were recording. Today is great!
What's going to be great is have fun with that audio peaking as Kyra shrieks like a tiny banshee.
Mate, I don't even bother with the audio anymore.
Well done.
I did not place the neck.
Kyra's
I
brilliant.
thought we looked so sophisticated. You do.
You know, Leigh,
We were going to have a nice changeover, but I might just kill Suzy at this point, just so you could have some sort of heartbreak to balance this.
you spat out your cola.
Yes.
It now has bits in. Those bits were in you originally.
Yes.
It's not recycling.
I'm not gonna die.
Welcome back to Alignment Unknown. So,
I'm ready.
promotion. Heading out into the vast openness that is the northern meadows, the group wandered towards Menzoberranzan before finding what appeared to be wild horses, and this was an hour-long fucking episode. Upon getting closer, it was found the horses were in fact being reared by Punch, an Azamar rogue turned wrangler. There's a fucking tongue twister. Buying the horses from the rogue, the group cut down their travel from 8 days to 3 and made it to Menzoberranzan without incident. Upon entering the city, the gang wasted no time in pursuing their needs within the city of spiders, with Ellipsis running off for a supply haul, Planchett and Hororae going to peruse the Covenant's libraries, and Klaxis exploring the small chapel to the Raven Queen within. Using her doctorate, Planchett managed to persuade the head physicians to allow them access to the libraries, where Hororae and Planchett spent the remaining 5 hours of their time reading about Geryon, Stygia, and time magic experiments of Analog and Antiquus. Klaxis' trip took a more disconcerting turn on arrival to a run-down and dishevelled chapel with one drow lady by the name of Leviticus looking after it. Whilst discussing the Raven Queen and the process of death, Klaxis was distracted by the new presence of a shadow being that seemed to be following him. With Leviticus struggling to see the being, but saw a smoky disturbance to the graveyard, Klaxis went to explore the gravestone on which the being had been perched to find his own name engraved on the stone. In a panic, Klaxis fell backwards and knocked himself out on impact with the stone behind him.
What a klutz.
And that is where we were last session.
Bless you.
So, Ladies, you have been given information that you've read over the 5 hours, so I'm going to skip you two until end of library times, okay?
Yep.
So unless you had something specifically you wanted to do in those 5 hours, I'm kind of assuming that you're sitting with those
We're
books
reading.
and just reading that stuff. Okay?
We're nerds.
So,
Super nerds.
Klaxis. You come to with your head throbbing with the blood you can feel rushing through your veins. You can almost hear the very rattle of your lungs, and the taste of bile in your mouth suggests all your senses are on overdrive. Opening your eyes, the looming directly above you is the smoky being that you have been seeing in your peripheral vision of late. You try to move, but for all your muscles seem to be locked in some form of paralysis. The creature is featureless, even this close, and the eyes and smiles that you've noticed were like red tears in the bleakness now look like burning pockets of lava. It appears to wink at you, and in the back of your head you hear a reedy voice simply say, "Tag, you're it." The being then blinks out of existence and your body is released. Just as you come to and start to sit up, you see Leviticus running down the gangway between the gravestones that make the graveyard. And she rushes up to you and terribly sorry, I thought you were dead there for a second. That was...
Well, it couldn't be in a better place.
Yes, perfectly.
Did you see that?
Smoke dissipating from the gravestone. Did you inhale it or?
No. I'm just gonna. What? Can I see what's on the gravestone now?
Yes. As you look up, it just reads Tom Riddleston. Is the name on the? Don't look at me like that, guys. It's all right to have little references to other things. Tom Riddleston is on the gravestone. Apparently died about 5 or 6 years ago.
No, it's fine. I love you, Stephen.
I try to be nice every now and then, but nice things.
You do. It's lovely, and I appreciate it actually. No, I didn't inhale any smoke. I just it's like a creature in smoke, I suppose.
Creature of smoke. Have you recently picked up any swords, any books,
No.
any shields that have suggested they are of arcane measures?
I mean, look at me, Will. Like admittedly, I'm on a journey to find an arcane sword, but I've not got anything of anything value.
Okay.
It's just who's this Tom Riddleston chap? Is he anyone of importance?
Just one of the ledgers in the city. Didn't do much with his life. Wrote a couple of short novellas. Didn't really do much of interest.
That's alright. No one. I just see if I can deceive her. Just slept. Obviously was
roll a
confused.
deception.
Obviously
check.
was confused by the smoke.
Roll a deception check.
I've forgotten how my deception is. Crap. Oh, 16.
16, lovely. She kind of looks at you for a second and just nods and goes, "Well, you have been here for a few hours, just to warn you."
Wait, hang on. I've been like unconscious a few hours.
Yes.
That ain't sweet. That's scant. It's not a good sign of brain damage at all.
I left here just before I thought you did.
I think.
And I thought you had left.
Can I try and remember anything?
You remember having a conversation with Leviticus.
Good, just making sure I'm
You
not
remember
brain
having that conversation, explaining that she's asking if there was something over by the gravestone, and then you wandered over. You remember seeing your name, not this Tom Riddleston, and then falling backwards and knocking your head against the gravestone behind you.
Good. Just making sure I'm not completely brain fucked.
Well, no more than usual.
Hooray! Can I? Is there any?
-1 intent.
Is there any remnants I can see of it anywhere?
No, as you look around, you've got, like I was saying to you last session, there is that constant kind of looming of shadow in the corner of your eye, but every time you turn to look at it, it kind of dissipates.
That's not going to make a man at all.
The being that you have seen is nowhere to be seen either.
Sweet. I'm just gonna get up, thank her for her troubles, and try and stumble away.
Okay, lovely. She just kind of nods at you and starts to slowly walk back towards the chapel as you start to walk back out towards the Covenant.
Is there blood on my head as well?
You've got dried blood on the back of your hair. You've got quite a painful bump on the back of your head.
Bastard to wash.
But yes, it seems to have healed over for the best part of it. It's just a quite sensitive lump on the back of your head with a bit of blood that's already dried up.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll just wander
Lovely.
back into town.
As you
And not drink.
As you wander back into town and you bump into both Pivot outside the Covenant, who has just been sat outside, very relaxed. People look at him every now and then as they walk past the doors, but they, being this area, they seem to be quite used to this sort of thing and just look at him, then walk away.
Can I redo his chalk face?
You can
Because
indeed.
it's been a while and chalk rubs off.
Yes, of course you can. You start redoing his chalk face. Any specific drawing, or you just go smiley face?
Smiley face. Maybe a tongue lolling. Like a happy Labrador.
Lovely. With that, we shall come to...
Whiskers. You get whiskers.
He gets whiskers. With that, we come to you two.
There we go.
Where you two have been sat in quite a nice little nook in the middle of this library. You notice that the light in the room seems to slowly dim over the few hours that you're in there, to the point that it becomes, you're still able to read, but it's definitely become dim light rather than full normal lit room. As a silver-haired drow lady with a black streak running from her left temple back over her tight pulled back hair, pinched expression on her face, freckles, kind of walks up to you and goes, "I'm terribly sorry, the library is now closed."
Oh, okay, sorry. We'll pack up and be out.
What time do you open tomorrow?
Come back for Mercury's not on the reception, so you should be able to get in at a normal time. Try about 8 a.m. in the morning. You should be able to come in. I'm assuming you are the Planchett party.
Yes.
Lovely.
Hi.
Hello, Vagrant, and offers a hand off to you.
Shake it.
I'm the head officer of the public library, and gestures around her. I have been informed by the physicians that you are allowed into the academic section as well tomorrow, if you would like to.
Please, that'd be amazing.
But yes, thank you. If you'd like to follow me, you are more than welcome to take those books with you. Just please bring them back tomorrow. Otherwise, we have to send the book hunters on you.
I'm sorry, I'm really good at bringing books back.
Good. Lovely. And starts to guide you towards the doors. Do either of you take the books that you were with, or do you just place them?
I'll take them.
You
Bit of
take 'em?
bedtime reading,
Lovely.
and I like holding books.
No worries. Hororae, keeping the
I'll
book.
keep my one.
Lovely. You guys exit out into the corridor. You're guided back into the reception area. Just as you get to the doors, you can see Klaxis and Pivot. Words. Pivot. You can see the two just outside. Hororae, to your delight and obviously not dismay, you can see that he's re-chalking the face onto Pivot just as you come out the door.
You're not allowed to be mad with me because I've had quite an afternoon.
You don't have to.
I was going to turn and go, ta-da!
You see there's a big stonking lump on the back of his head.
I'm very probably severely concussed.
How many fingers are we holding up?
2, that's not how concussion works.
Never said I was a doctor of the human body.
Damn, girl.
Right. Diggs.
Huh?
Where are we staying?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know.
So obviously on the map how tiny my church is compared to the church of Blood.
You're in Menzoberranzan, the city of spiders.
And,
apologies, I've not put any of the pubs that are here.
Or
You,
like, would I know if there is
Walk
a
past them.
branch of my guild.
Uh,
Yeah, that we can go to.
which guild are you specifically with? Remind me.
He doesn't give us a name.
No.
Cool.
Let's
Let's
go with.
assume it's a hard pass.
Let's go with
I'll
because
make
your
note
guild
of it.
is based in Chilton. It's more of a southern thing. It hasn't made its way up north yet. Just for.
Fairs.
Such things.
No, you have no idea if they've reached this far. You'd have to wander around trying to find if there is.
Would we have walked past a number of pubs and
You would have walked
inns
past
on the
one or
way?
two of them. There are two taverns that you have walked past on your travels. There is Lolf's Respite.
It was on the weekend.
There's Lolf's Respite, and which was just on the outskirts of the, as you can see on the map. The back quarter is the academic quarter, where the two churches and the two academies are. They were just on the outskirts of that region as you were leaving by the beacon. There was another by the food and produce quarter as you were entering the city, which is known as the Drow Hall.
The Drow!
Planchett, have you ever entered a drow hall before?
No, I haven't.
You've never opened up the drow hall and stepped
No.
inside?
No, I haven't.
No,
I've never
no.
been here.
Very cool.
Like, why would I have been to the Drow Hall?
You look the type.
Do we want to go
what-
to the closest one?
The thing you would have noticed about the Drow Hall, however,
Yeah,
was
which one looks less like we're going to die?
it's a heavy Duragar based pub, the Drow Hall.
Cool. I'm going to suggest that as much as it's...
Pale sort of look to its bleached drow hall.
Anyway,
Oh, I just
yes.
had a bad thought now.
No.
Have you just caught up? Have you just caught
No,
up?
I was there, but
Oh, okay.
now I'm like,
That's
does,
okay,
does
you don't
the
have
carpet
to.
match the curtains of Drow? Because they've got quite light hair. Oh, okay.
You'd have to pay to find out, I'm sure. Depends what.
Every single session you do.
I can't help it! And I like to share these thoughts, because I don't want to be on my own with
Right,
them.
see, the closest one is that the last one. So
Yes, Lolf's Respite. So you guys start to head towards
Lolf's Respite.
Lolf's Respite.
Yeah, we're going to that one.
Walking through the
Because
streets,
it's also closer.
again, you start to notice that there is a lot of the students of the two colleges wandering around, and occasionally you notice just paladin-looking people with large suits of armour, all of them stained black, with raven's feathers and such like that. You get to Lolf's Respite, where it's a three-story building. Looks more of an Edwardian mansion than it does a pub. It's quite austere. Outside the main entrance, there are a couple of just drow and human looking patrons just sitting drinking. You step in and immediately are hit by the noise of a small band. There is a drummer, there is a mandolin player, there is a lute player. They just seem to be playing background music to the patrons that are in the pub. Looking around, there is an 8-armed barman. He is about 7 foot tall, looks like a drow that has taken steroids, and has definite scarring around his mouth, which you would accommodate you'd associate with orc people who have cut away at their teeth. However, he has his normal arms whereabouts the shoulders would be, and then 3 other sets of arms underneath, spreading out of his torso as he just starts reaching across the bar, serving everyone that is at the bar there.
That's amazing. That's useful.
Don't stare.
There are a couple of spare tables and such, but the patrons around seem to be quite closed off to themselves. There's, like I said, the average drow, Duragar, a couple of humans all spotted around the room. About 2 or 3 of the tables completely filled with people already, and then there's about 4 or 5 tables just open.
Cool. I'm gonna go up to the bar.
Lovely. You step up. You're kind of stuck behind there's about a queue, one person deep queue at the moment against the bar. You manage to elbow your way through. Pivot has also, just so we're aware,
I can wait.
Pivot has hung outside just because he couldn't get through the door.
Fair.
And you wait a moment, get into the bar. A couple of minutes later, the drow walks over to you. All right, love, how may I help you?
Do you have any rooms?
Rooms we do. How many are you looking to use?
That's a good question. 3?
3 rooms. Well, we have.
What about this?
It depends on what rooms you're looking for. Well, the first we have 2. We have 2 stories in terms of rooms. Your cheaper ones are the first story. They go at about 2 silver a night. They are modest, but they're not anything to brag about. And then if you're wanting for more lavish, they are the second floor.
I don't think we're looking for anything particular.
That's fine. 2 silver each room. I could do you a deal at essentially. If you're wanting 3 rooms, you've got 6,
4
8,
actually.
4, 8 silver. Yeah, I'll tell you what. How long are you looking to stay? A couple of days,
Yeah.
night. Okay, I can do you a week for 5 gold.
Sounds reasonable.
Lovely. One of the hands stretch out and hands it, places it out towards you, grinning at you.
I can't do maths.
It's 10 silver to a gold.
Right.
You are asking for 7 days, so 8 times 7.
Yay.
He's offered you for 5 gold.
We're saving 6 silver.
Perfect.
Saving 6 silver.
It'll do.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
So you're basically getting a night free on the rooms, basically.
5.
Yes, 5 gold. Just offers his hand down, grinning at you. No, it's fine. You do your markings.
Gotta keep it all up to date.
Gotta keep it all up to date, boss. Wanna make sure it's alright.
Gotta keep it all above board.
What's this book say? Don't show to the IRS.
Sure.
To the IRS. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Takes the 5 gold off you, pockets it into one of the. He's got 7, almost like a belt made of little satchels and money bags that he just drops one into, and then pulls out another couple of keys out of another one with another arm from his 8 that are going. You know that you can see that 3 of them are still keeping the bar going, whilst these others are starting to focus on yourself. Hands you over the 4 keys and just grins towards you and goes, "That will be on the first floor. They've got the numbers on them. You'll find them easy."
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I get you any drinks whilst we're here, or?
I turn to the others.
Yep.
Hey! I think you can get this.
Hey, sweet. You order them.
We can open a tab
Open
if
a
you
tab.
want. Lovely. Tab. What name am I putting on the tab, please?
I think it's.
Prof.
What?
Prof it is. Lovely.
Nose.
Just start. One hand pulls out a notepad and starts scribbling down. Prof. Places it back in. What drinks can I get?
I have wine, please.
Wine.
Yeah, sounds great.
Wine.
Do you do food?
Depends on your description of food.
3 beers for the natural. No. Yeah, hey, that works. I'm really concussed.
Okay. He basically says he'll bring stuff over to you.
Perfect.
So you go head over to the table. A couple of minutes later, we'll go with what you want to do at the table, but a couple of minutes later he brings over the drinks for you. The band is still playing in the background, thank you for reminding me, Adam.
Is Mercury the same?
No, it's just a lute player, a mandolin player and a drummer at the moment. However...
Suzy looks faintly disappointed.
There is a moment where you're just sat waiting, and then the food is brought over. There is essentially a small plate of cheeses that is put in front of you. which has out-of-date bread.
Yep.
You can see it's out of date because it's growing something on the side. As he looks down, he just rips that part off and throws it behind him and goes, "I'll do it for you." Slams it onto the table with the drinks and then walks back off towards the bar.
He's not lying, it's technically food.
Yeah, and
That it is.
crackers. It's essentially crackers. Molden crackers.
You can have that.
Thank you. Oh. Been a hard day.
So, what do you guys want to do?
How was your reading? What did you learn?
Good. Got a good start here, actually, I think. What about you, Hororae?
Interesting. I'm definitely keen to see what's in the other part of the library.
Yes. Looking forward to that. My God, it's going to be so good. Oh, it's going to. We've got access to the academic side of the library. Exactly. I'm really quite excited. And it's so nice to see. What? I was just going to say, it's really nice to see, like, other academics. Like, Bessie. Like, you know.
So what exactly happened to you?
Yeah.
It's a perfectly classic evening of going to. You poked me, I was stabbed in the face. Perfectly classic afternoon of going to church. You see something like a thing.
Thing?
That is slightly odd. You fall over after looking at a video still and get your head in it, wake up a few hours later.
See something odd how?
Oh, my eyes. I'm properly concussed. Look, hey, do you know how ravens are kind of black feathers and all that sort of nonsense?
Yeah.
It's like a kind of virtually black smoke thing.
Has this happened before?
No!
Insight!
Deception versus insight.
I'm on fire today. 16.
Not as good. 9.
Okay, I rolled a 17.
You can't tell if he's lying or if he's just being coy.
Do I recognise that description at all?
Yes, because you two had that conversation previously on the way to Menzoberranzan.
But I mean, like in clearly I did.
This is why I listened back to it, so I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And to bump this what?
And to pump the numbers.
Yes. No, I mean or did I ask that last time in terms of?
Do you recognise?
Recognise it as a thing in the world?
No, you didn't. Specifically, verbatim quote, as recently re-listened to the episode, you can recognise it from a number of stories that your dad would have told you,
yes,
but there is not a specific thing that says, this is the Jabberwocky.
Classic sort of gravestone briefly for a second. I thought I had my name on it. It doesn't. It has a guy called Thomas Riddleston on it.
Oh. Do you have a history of hallucinations in your family?
I mean, no. Probably not. I've never asked. I have asked, but no.
Depends how close they get to Woodstock.
I mean, LSD is a powerful drug. Right, it's not like that.
Other than the concussion, are you feeling alright? Have you seen any more? Like, things?
No.
We're going to continue with that deception versus insight.
Yeah,
You're fine.
damn it.
You're fine.
Okie dokie, cool. Lovely.
Oh, okay. You know, you can come to us, like, just saying.
Sweet. Oh, and I found out where my sword is, which I'm going to find, which is quite fun.
Oh, what's that? Where is it?
It is. It's got a fun name. It's Furian's Blade. Furian definitely sounds like a positive chap, not an angry man.
And not
Not
stole from that.
Not at all.
It's in a cavern about 3-4 days away. There's just a small few things in there, like sub-bunch towns and small mine-clear encampments and simple lava flows and things like that. But afterwards, there's a sword.
Not much then.
It's a pilgrimage. You'd do the same if you believed in actually anything.
How long has that sword been there?
Well,
And how many people have tried to?
the last person who went there apparently wasn't that long ago. They've not heard of him since. But Were they alone?
Podcast is the sound of me raising my eyebrows.
Do you have any actual detailed information about how to get there, like a map or?
I may have done, but I've bumped the noggin.
I don't think you should be going anytime soon, with or without people.
Well, it's like, it's fine, it's as if it's like a number of quite large libraries in the valley where I can find stuff with more detail.
Oh, we can do that as well.
Oh, damn. Hey!
I'm going to the library tomorrow. We're going to the library actually tomorrow. It's going to be great. 8 o'clock. I'm so excited.
Is Ellipsis around?
Ellipsis, you haven't seen him since he went off to get stuff in the labourers' quarter.
Kraken.
No Kraken.
Which I was kind of suppose I shouldn't.
You right?
Yeah. I just had some. I should probably. I was thinking about it like today. I think I should stay here a bit longer. I don't know how long you guys were thinking of hanging, but I want to stay here
I thought you
with the
wanted
library.
to adventure. A
Yeah.
whole new world.
I'm not saying staying forever. What?
Oh, it's a nice motto.
It is quite nice
I'm
actually.
very
It's
fantastic.
it's
High five! Yeah! Small concussion works.
I mean, we have the rooms for a week.
Yeah. How long were you thinking of staying?
I wasn't sure.
Until
I
I
know.
finish the library.
That's pretty much. I just look. It's the first time I've been at another university. And it's the first time I've been in another city that's not Luskan. And you know, this is my thing. This is what I do. Is libraries and research and learning things and it feels really quite nice here. I mean,
You want us?
I mean, it's not forever. Like, I'm still like part of the team, I hope. I just think I need a bit longer than you guys want to be.
You do you. I mean, you've got a lot to write up on so far from your stories of you pretending to help kill a giant.
What?
You
did help.
You pretended to help kill everything. You've been very good at standing at the back, and that's playing to your strengths. So congratulations. I should not have had that beer. Should not at least say about head injuries and
Why
drinking.
is the first floor? Would Pivot be able to see through the windows?
It's so. Pivot is about 10 feet tall, if I remember rightly. So his head would get to the ceiling in this room.
Okay.
So he would have to get on something to look up in the windows.
I just wanted you guys to like be aware. It's like I'm not leaving the group. I just gonna hang, do more research. So give me research things, and then I'll just catch up.
Okay.
Well, you won't know where we are, but you'll know
you
where we
literally,
are.
yeah.
I'll find you.
I mean,
I know you're going to Arcadia.
we're probably not going to be the most subtle of people, are we? Just look for the giant shaggy hobo with his hands on fire from like stuff. That's me, not you.
Why are your hands on fire?
I meant like, for me, like it hurts. I meant blood. I'm really concussed.
Do you need to see somebody? I don't think you should. I don't know.
As you guys are having this conversation, the door opens and Ellipsis walks in with a followed by, but seems to be with him, a crouched-looking gentleman. Looks quite tired, or at least from the distance, he looks quite tired. Has a kind of bovine-like ears and a big kind of brutish nose. Has purple hair pushed back. And is walking on a walking stick. Looks way too big to be in this room. You get the sense that he's about 5-6 foot crouched. who just walks in on a walking stick, talking to Ellipsis, and they walk directly to the bar. Ellipsis makes eye contact with you guys and just nods, and then continues back to the bar.
Got a tab.
Mate, I'll
We
pay
may need to-
myself anyway. It's fine.
We may need to borrow Boggle.
Okay, let me just get this sorted. Then I'll be with you. Let me.
It had already occurred to me.
Give me a minute. And he kind of gets to the bar, seems to be in conversation with this. What? Make a nature check for me, everyone, for me, please. I would say that Klaxis, you have an advantage on this one.
Natural 1.
Natural 1.
17.
17. 18. Lovely. Suzy, unfortunately, you don't know this. You two both know this gentleman that has walked in with Ellipsis to be a furbolg, which is essentially the bastard race of the giant people. They are considered the weak rumplings, however, are incredibly strong compared to humans anyway, but are chastised and ostracised by the giant folk as more human than giant. They are predominantly known as clerics, druids, and anything to do with, they're quite wise people, and spend a lot of time playing with enchantments and such like that. But anyway, just so you're aware of that.
So what you're saying is I'm half of his king.
You're half of his kin. Yes.
He's supposed to be half giant. I'm king of the giants. So
he is one of your patrons, yes.
well, half of them, and I'm choosing which half I'm eating.
Anyway, Ellipsis walks over after getting drinks and finishing his conversation. And goes, so, sorry, what were we saying about borrowing Boggle?
This one seems to have had a bit of an accident.
Which one?
That one.
Ah, okay. What did you do?
I'm thinking more in terms
Do
of
anything.
keeping an eye on him through the night.
He's
That-
got
Make sure he doesn't
That's
run
fine. I
away.
mean, I'm just going to throw it at them. What did you do?
If they were over him, I hadn't raised them.
Okay, do you mind if I gently place my hand on the back of your head?
I mean, only if you don't look into my eyes like that again. Stop that.
This is where the ship started, guys. Anyway, he just gently places his hand on the back of your head, and you get this really warm sensation run against the back of your skull. And then it just, as he moves his hand away, your head feels almost like it has just been lifted off pillows. And as you place your hand back there, it feels normal. You can bat it around a bit. The concussion seems to have gone.
Fucking sweet. Barkeep.
As if that was stopping you. You've got another 2 points there.
I know.
You had to always have 3 going.
It'll take him time to ponder.
Anyway, as you just nod over to the barman who starts pouring another. Anyway, yes.
I'm not paying all this.
Paladins have their skills.
Has he brought a friend?
Oh yeah, friend is a strong term that I'd use.
I see you brought someone you know possibly.
An
Kind of,
acquaintance.
yes. Previous colleague / employer, depending on which one you want to refer to him. He is just out for a drink. We've already finished our thing. Klaxis, got some good news for you. Your sword.
Yep.
Fuck that. I know where to get it from, however. No.
It's only a small encampment of mind flayers.
Okay, we have the Weeping Colossus.
Yeah, that's written down, don't worry. I
We have
could have been writing, I thought it said Warung.
we have a Mind Flayer encampment,
Aye.
and to top it all off,
A small lava flow.
a small lava flow.
Aye.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if Ellipsis is freaked out, you're not going.
Not freaked out. It's exciting. Just
Look, on the off chance the lava flow is a problem, we can use him as a stepping stone and give it 5 minutes later and come back.
30 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
I'd
It's a
rather
joke.
not.
It's a joke. I don't want to use him and turn him into Gollum.
I really want to insight that.
Go for it. My alignment is chaotic. Good. Good. So go for it. And just
got
names.
scary. Oh no, fuck that. It's a 3 and something. That's a 2. That's a 2.
Yeah, I rolled 18. So I'm not sure what I'm rolling for because I don't want to do that.
Anyway.
But you just said it was such like your eyes.
Right. So we. Lucian won't take us that way. Lucian is my friend and points back at the guy who, as you say hi, Lucian, he just kind of turns. He looks half baked. He just has this really relaxed face, grin, looks at you, a couple of teeth missing. He just kind of raises his glass and turns back to the bar, hunches back over.
I'll have what she's having. Just because she's stoned as fuck. I know it's your famous quote from a band.
Either way, Lucian has offered us a guide towards it, so we would avoid the Mind Flayer or the Duragar encampments. However, we would still have to go through the Weeping Colossus, and we'd have to go through the lava streets.
Do I know what the Weeping Colossus is?
He's a very sad big man.
Neither of those sound particularly enticing.
I've been to the Weeping Colossus. It's very picturesque. It's just that it is. We're in the Underdark. There are a very limited amount of watering holes for things that might need drink. The Weeping Colossus might be the biggest watering hole this side of Menzoberranzan.
So everything goes there.
So big things will go there.
Are you serious? Is this sword really worth all of this?
No?
Why do you want it?
It's a big powerful sword of death. I mean,
why do you want it?
to learn about death and try and see what the source of its magic is. Look, just as you want to learn everything about time, I want to learn everything about death. Here's a big deathy sword. I want to learn the power behind it, because that's quite important to working out what the fuck death is, actually, and why.
It does sound like double death.
Plus, if he takes the sword, so the sword is part of the 4 swords of the Raven Queen, and if I remember the stories rightly, he is basically placing himself in line to become one of the champions of the Raven Queen if he takes the sword, therefore opening a very direct line to the Queen of Death herself.
I'll admit, I wasn't telling on that bit, but cheers 4 dots.
Sorry!
It's not entirely selfish, but it is pretty much a selfish quest now.
Why do you want that?
Why wouldn't you want it? It's a direct line through to the deity.
But aside from, just an afternoon chat, like why do you need to go
You
into
pretty much have control of one's life and death, and you understand what's going to happen to people within.
I thought that she wasn't necessarily in control of it. It was
No, but
about
she sees
guiding.
when it happens. It's quite a powerful thing to do. Useful. It's a useful thing to know. More useful than powerful. I may have slightly misspoke. I can't even use excusing about concussion for that fucker.
Sorry, Klaxis, didn't
Why
mean
would
to.
you want to know?
Can I tell you later when someone who's not going to be here for the journey won't be here? Is that alright? Am I happy to chat to you a bit later on? Smash it? Great. No, you're not. Don't worry, I love you to pieces, you're grand. But we'll have a chat later, because...
But I might be able to help. Like, research history, right?
You could actually, right? If you could research shutting the fuck up. Oh, it's too cruel. I don't mean it. Look, you're quite a busy lady. I don't need to have more time spent doing stuff that you don't want to do. So just...
What? No, I don't want to do.
Thank you.
I like to know things. Let me know things. That was a little bit forceful.
Next to camera.
Yeah, Ellipsis, I'm going to be staying here a bit longer. I'm not coming on this sword quest.
No.
No,
Well,
I'm going to make roots and academic innings.
It sounds like a sensible option.
Yeah, sorry?
I
Not
mean-
going. but I'm happy to
I
do.
would rather you stay here than walk somewhere towards an entrance of Stygia or something like that. Not that I'm saying one's down south, I'm just saying that
There's one-
if I know you're here, I know you're not going to Stygia.
Why would I be going to Stygia?
That's not the reason why I don't want you around, because you've got quite a creepy man in your locket.
Look,
Yeah, that
can you stop? Like, he's lovely. Like, my
I've
boss
heard
is
you're lovely. Is this too?
You are lovely. Thank you. Right, can you stop like hating on my boss? Like,
I'm
He's-
not. You are your own woman.
Thank
You
you.
are allowed to do whatever you want to do.
thank you very much.
However,
What?
as the closest thing to. As an acquaintance of yours,
I think we're friends by this point. Like,
acquaintance will do.
no.
Indentured friendship.
Former work colleague will work.
What?
I just don't like the idea of you walking into something that could possibly get you killed.
I'm not gonna be fine. Like he's the only person like that's been good to me.
Okay.
Like Tiefling, Luskan, not a great place. Just throwing that one out there.
I thought you were happy to do it.
No, I'm not. Like,
In
just
West
he's
Sword Coast, Faerun.
like he's the only
Born and raised.
person
Yes.
that's
In the libraries where I spent most of my day.
Yes. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Unlike the other tieflings that were in school.
To the couple of doors who are up and good. Don't tell anyone else to do it.
I'm trying to be emotional.
Is a rapper taken up the market in the bar? And
Yeah, as you hear, for some reason, even though they've not been invented, a vinyl scratch.
Someone's just scraping their fork on a
You look over and Lucian is now standing on the stage. So, no,
all we've done is ruined your genuine moment. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
I'm plumbing the depths here.
Right, well, let's just reset. Okay, guys. No, come on. I'm gonna breathe. It's a safe space. It's a great
Not
space for
fucking
developing
safe
stuff, isn't it? It's a
space.
great space for developing stuff.
Oh Jesus! Look, all I'm saying is that being Tiefling and Luskan isn't exactly great fun. I've made a lot of headway with the people, but they still tolerate, which is actually not as fun as it sounds. So my boss is the first person who's actually been genuinely nice to me, has actually helped me. Like, I really appreciate. I mean, I thank you for worrying. That's nice. Not many people do. But he's my boss. He's the only person that's been kind for a very, very long time. And yes, so if you ask me to
something
do
you wanna do.
something, I will do it. And I'm not heading to Stygia. I'm researching Stygia. And it just so happens there's a fuck off library here with lots of academics, and that is also something I haven't really been able to do. So I'm going to be staying here a little bit longer, and this is coming out a lot more angry than I wanted it to. Like, you're my friends. You don't care if you don't think I'm friends with a work acquaintance.
Would you like some cheese?
Yes! Pass me some of that cracker.
It's called wet pressing. Jackson, there's some brie.
No, I'm good with this bit of cheese.
Tiny breed.
Callum, like a
I'll eat the camembert in a minute.
cathedral city.
I don't like Cathedral City, actually.
Oh, come with it.
Did you just say that to me?
Have two camemberts.
I'm really enjoying the mime that's happening. Well, I'm just actually sat eating
Eating
cheese.
cheese.
Anyway.
But yeah,
Yes,
I'll have the lot.
you're leaving.
I'm
You're
gonna take.
Well, I
this-
mean, this isn't goodbye immediately because I'm going back to the library. So
Well, yes, but I'm just a little bit emotional. I'm gonna take this cheese.
yeah, I do have.
Swipes the cheese.
I forgot I've got cure wounds this whole
And
time.
I'm gonna go upstairs with another glass of wine. I'll see you guys around. if anybody needs me, I'm gonna be sulking.
3 cheers to Planchett. For she's a jolly good fellow. For she's a jolly good fellow.
No.
That's what's yours.
Happy birthday.
No. I appreciate it, but I'm feeling raw and
Okay.
happy.
Like,
I'd like a hug. To be quite
if she's
frank,
going back to the
but-
library tomorrow, you're gonna have the awkward kind of like
Yeah. Oh, I'll see.
bump into each other.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we're gonna be fine. I'm just upset right now.
That's
I'll be upset
right.
in the morning. Go to
Okay.
sleep. Neat. And drink.
You go do that. Have some me time. Yeah. Right.
It's been close, guys. I'll see.
Barkeep, remind me of cucumber.
Oh God, the bear. Shove that cucumber. I've got fucking cheese, mate.
Fine.
Got all the fucking cheese. I
That
stuck
was
all
the
the cheese.
intention with the cucumber to shove it. Was anyway. Me time. I have spent the last 3 hours talking to that man over there. He points and talks to Lucian again. He is a bad influence. Okay.
Okay.
Seems quite fun.
He just kind of again turns around, smiles, raises his glass, turns back around to the bar.
Sleep well.
Will do. Thank you. You guys too. And I'm going. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
I sweep majestically out the room. It's not majestic. It's terrible.
I take a swig of my wine and just look pointedly at Klaxis.
Hello.
Do I need to leave you two alone? I can. I'm gonna go get a drink.
No, sweet. Cheers. Can I have another 3 pints of just one? Just the
I'll
one.
find how many I can carry and
One
see what comes
pint,
back. It's fine. Drink,
Sweet.
drink. Hororae. Drink. Ciao.
Sure.
Cool. Back in a minute. So just gets up very awkwardly and starts walking up to the bar.
So,
If you ask questions, I'll try and answer.
why?
Okay. Alright. If you ask like specific questions. I'll
I
try
mean,
and answer.
or you could just tell me.
I'm dying.
Okay.
Possibly.
Possibly?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Because whatever I'm seeing currently has probably killed my dad.
What makes you think that?
Because he told me so.
What did he tell you?
Literally nothing apart from that our families we see things and then it slowly drives you to death over a period of months, years, decades, however long it takes. So I've got a very long, or possibly very short, life, I suppose, ahead of me. And if I can see how long people have got, I can see how long I've got. And work with that what I want.
So you'd rather know? You'd
Yeah.
rather have the clock over your head?
Yeah, you can spend the time better if you know how much you've got.
Or spend it all as best you can?
Exactly. But if I don't know, because without the threat of looming like a time limit, you don't. You get bored. You sit down for an afternoon and have a nap. So unless I don't know, someone I know could possibly control time anytime soon. Oh fuck! Oh, what a shame! What a surprise!
See.
So yes, I'm being selfish, and yes, I'm doing what I want to do, but I'm like here to support you doing what you want as well, because we have a mutual interest. Let's just say.
How would my potential ability to manipulate time actually help in this situation?
I've
It's a
not got a
long
clue.
running.
I haven't got a clue,
Okay.
but it's a better option than I've got currently of waiting.
Okay.
So yeah, I either don't do anything and live every day, because you say like you live every day to the fullest. No, you don't. What you do is you live every day like it's the day you're gonna die. which is living in fear and great. And as much as dying is normal and wonderful and great, it is fucking terrible. Or I can know, and I can, spend, say, 6 weeks, a month, a year, 30 years, ambulance. Fucking great. It's not ominous at all. Fucking birds making noises. Or I can spend the time planning it and trying to get something sorted.
Okay. Thank you for telling me.
Cheers.
Well, there is literally nothing I can do, but if there is...
Yeah, I know, it's great, so that's what I'm going to, get this on what we're there, and if I can help you get what you want, then I'm a happy badger.
Okay. Ellipsis. 3.
Grins. At this point, you have the furball and Ellipsis come back carrying everything and places it down. The furball just kind of nods at all of you. Again, that kind of half awake, half asleep look. Just nods and grins and then slowly starts to turn around to walk back to the bar. And then
I'm half your king. I'm king of half of you.
I'm sorry, what? You're half of my...
I'm like, I think I'm king of your legs.
King of my leg? No, you have not paid the right amount of money to be the king of my legs.
I like this guy a lot.
He kind of offers a hand out, Dr. Lucian.
I'm Klaxis. I'm king of the hill giants.
Oh, unfortunately I do not have the pleasure of being half hill giant.
Oh, that's a shame.
Half stone giant.
Damn it.
That was very well timed. Slam on the table. The music.
I think you'll find my slam dictates when the music starts. Cheers, band!
They all just wink.
I paid them so much money to do that.
You've met Bombarded then.
Yes,
I'm aware of them.
They're very impressive. Anyway.
I can't even pretend, they're great. They're literally the best.
How dare you? They are not modified roll. I also love modified roll.
Oh,
that was a joke. That was a joke for anyone.
What the shit, Dickens? Dickens, you shit, bitch.
I love all of them.
Steve just serving the tea.
As long as it's not Pathfinder playing. Anyway.
Hey, so it's lovely to meet you, Dr. Lucian. What are you doctor of?
My doctorate is in more of a applied theory. Theoretically, I could have a doctorate.
I see.
I have applied that theory, so therefore I am a doctor.
Right. One day I'll get tired of that joke. What is this?
Nope, never. I love the fucking Las Vegas joke. Anyway.
Sweet. I'm glad we've got another person on the team who's technically something.
I mean, I've never lied about being anything that I shouldn't be. I've never saved any. Well, I've saved 4 people's lives in the course of my time.
Of those 4 people, how many people did you put in peril in the first place?
2.
Aye, sweet.
50-50. It's very fair. Okay.
Well, alright, sweet. I'm probably gonna try and neck the 3 points.
Lovely.
I made such an error of making him ahead in this. I'm probably gonna fuck off the bed because it's been a very long and weird day. So, alright.
Both Ellipsis and Lucian just nod at you, and Lucian starts to pack up and get up as well.
One question. Hororae, can I have the key to my room, please?
Yes, I did say I got that game.
Oh, it's sweet, just making sure, because I had a concussion. Fucking fun. I'm gonna wander up to my room.
Lovely. You wander up to your room. It is Ellipsis and Hororae left. Is there anything you want to do, Hororae, or?
I think we're going to need to keep an eye on him.
Why? What's he done? Oh, bye, Lucian. See you later.
Don't you worry about me.
They call me the Rad. Anyway,
My brain Lucian just falls asleep in a corner.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm a doctor of snoozing.
He just wanders off towards the bar area. So, why are we looking after that one?
I mean, well, he got the letter, didn't he? Some rather.
Saying his father had died, yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, each to their own. He might want to do what he wants, and you might want to do what you want to do, and apparently we've just lost one, but that's fine, because
Yes.
she's awkward replacement will be in the next few days when we find Lucian has offered a guide down to his sword to make things easier. She may also be able to guide us through the Underdark towards Arcadia as well. So, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Perfect.
And you now owe me one.
Do I?
Yes, because I've spent my one that he owed me to get that. So now you owe me. It's pay it forward.
Me?
I mean, let's go with you because it's for Arcadia. I'll take a little bit off him as well for the sword, but it's on the way.
Alright then.
I mean, don't worry, I'm not gonna come to you in the middle of the night and tell you that I've got this body I need to hide because I'm a paladin. Ding! But at some point, there may be a time where I go, oh look, my back's against the wall, I need to cash my chips in. Hororae Moro. Swoop in and save my metaphorical bacon. Or pivot, swoop in.
Let's be quite realistic about who it is you'll be
I
quite.
love metaphorical bacon.
Anyway, whilst I remember, and takes Boggle out, rolls him out onto the table, he just kind of jumps up, kind of stands in a kind of superhero stance. Boggle, go stand by Klaxis. Do you know which number he was in? Which numbers do you have left?
107 and 106.
107 and 106, lovely. So he's either going to be in 108, 109, 105, or 104.
Yes!
Improv. You say something, it happens.
You got this. You just in front of control as well.
And then if you don't feel
Yes, and
and if you don't feel safe about it, just start going like this to me.
Yeah.
Go like this to me, it'll be fine.
I got edited in a conversation today. When Paul edited me during our chat, he's like, okay, Adam, the scene's finished. I was like, okay, thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul. Thanks.
Anyway,
Oh,
We
no,
started doing that.
Yeah, I'm now generally getting wipe edited during like chats to people, which I can't help but go, yep, okay.
That's how it works.
cool. So, yes.
fucking gold.
Boggle,
you
go
can fuck
watch floor 1. If Klaxis comes out, it kind of just nods and starts running off.
It was
towards-
more while I thought he might die in his sleep. It's just
I mean,
annoying more than anything.
I have limited experience with his type there, excuse me. And I found that they are resilient little buggers at the best of time. Just going to ask the band to change music a second, because I don't know where they got the brass section
It's
from.
quite intense, isn't it?
Anyway,
It's when they replace the brass with a vibraphone.
you turn around and Dr. Lucian is now. He is here for comic effect, obviously. Anyway,
He's playing drinks.
she's got glasses. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think he's going to be dying. Not that we know of, anyway.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so you guys got room here. I'm going to be staying at Lucian's.
Oh, I didn't really. I mean, I didn't know that you were going. That you knew anyone. I got you a room.
Thank you. How much did you pay?
Don't worry about it.
Fine. I will have a chat with Leroy behind the bar and get it refunded. Don't look at me like that. I can see you at the corner of my eye.
Like cucumber.
I'm skinning it with my teeth.
Give you a key then. No,
Look.
you do.
Takes one of the keys. Cool. I may stay here instead then. Easier to look after Dibbins if he does go in the middle of the night. Then again, Lucian's probably the better one to talk to with that, because I can heal things, I can't deal with dead things. Well, I can hurt dead things more for some reason, but I can't talk to dead things, I can't bring dead... He's a grave cleric.
Okay.
Well, in his spare time.
Spare time.
He also writes worst fucking poems. And is
But it's his spare time that he uses for
well, it depends on if you are the taxman or if you are the paying customer, because the taxman is informed that he works head over heel to make sure that his publishing business and music is being fully attained. He may be a, for want of a better word, bard. He is also a grave cleric. He spends time with dead things. He's very good with dead things. I think it's just his nature.
Okay.
Terrible mix. Whoever thought that was an idea to make a grave cleric and a bard.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that I don't die,
That'd be a really shit.
Because if I get replaced by him, fuck me. I would owe him a fiver for one. Anyway,
Okay, well, certainly my plan is to go back to the library tomorrow.
Go to the library.
I'm not planning, I certainly don't
Dr. Tears is
plan
doing
on
the
staying on if
library.
we need to, but I'd like to check out the other.
Klaxis wants to go get a sword.
Yes.
I guess the rest of us just sit around whilst waiting for the off. I'll hang out with Lucian, make sure everything's fine. Chat with the new girl when she gets here.
Brilliant.
I'll initiate her. Get her ready for Team Thunder.
Team Thunder.
Team Thunder.
I feel
Team
violated.
Thunder.
Well, there are other words I could think to describe this.
I really want to shock and grasp something now. Just I can't think what.
What, do you want to be
Lightning.
Team Lightning? But it doesn't roll off the tongue. Like, go
No.
Team Thunder. That sounds great.
Always with the hand action.
The hand action.
I've had a lot of narcotics today. I've spent a lot of time with that man.
You as well. Okay.
Yes. It's amazing that I have immunity to disease, but not to narcotic.
Narcotic. What's the one?
Just the one.
Yes, I don't know what it is. It's just I've been inhaling his smoke, and it is pleasant.
Just tea. Smoking tea.
It is a pleasant smell. It's just
Okay.
it enlightens one.
You've been enlightened.
Wouldn't go that far. But, I've stopped seeing sound and feeling colour, so that's fine.
Oh.
That was the first hour of my trip.
Synesthesia. It's always the best way to start.
Anyway,
Okay. I think I'll
yep.
see you tomorrow.
I shall see you tomorrow. There's a damn milkshake.
Like a boss.
Like a what?
Because all great D&D characters drink milkshake.
Is the other one finished?
Anyway.
Yes.
And with that, if you are all going to bed to rest in the comfortable beds you find for all of you as you get into your rooms, each of them are your bog standard kind of travel lodge. There is a desk. There is
No
a seat.
mint on the pillow.
No mint on the pillow.
Oh.
No, you haven't paid for the second floor. You paid for the first one.
Second floor's exactly the same, but with a single mint and a plug socket's a bit closer to the bed.
Yes.
So you have to lean over in the morning to make sure your phone's actually charged.
But anyway, you find quite nice beds. Fairly nice kind of desk area if you need to do any writing for the doctor or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yes, you'll get your evening of rest, and we shall call that our break. We'll take however long we need. I can edit things if we need. But
Good.
anyway, let's pop it into the break room. Back in a minute.
RP.
Puppies.
Welcome back to
That is
Alignment
fine.
Unknown.
Mine are dead.
Half of mine are dead.
Nah, bitch. 100% there.
Honestly, mine are pickled. I'm never getting my inheritance.
Let's half of mine before I left my house. I can show you the world.
Welcome back!
You did it.
We're just waiting for you free. Anyway,
We don't drink Coke.
we don't drink
It's
Coke.
so very obvious when we play.
No.
Anywho,
This podcast is sponsored by the British Dental Association.
Well, I could probably get my grandpa to have a sponsor. He used to be head of the British Dental Association. Fun fact!
you may not get any D&D at this half of the podcast. You might just get family facts from the three of these. It might be nice. I ain't giving you shit, so don't ask.
Get to know you time.
Get into
You ask for my address, I don't have an address. You ask for my family, I don't have a family. Anyway, I'm going off the board. So, you guys awake the next, well, what feels like morning.
Is there a window to the room?
There is indeed a window to the room.
Fuck yeah.
Outside, you notice over the evening period that people get quieter outside as people wander towards their homes, but without an actual sun, it is hard to determine what time of day it actually is. You get what feels like 8 or 9 hours rest and wake the next morning. What did we all want to do this morning? I know that two of you are talking about going to the library.
Yep.
Cool. So as you two both poke your heads out the bedroom door and well-timed find each other.
Morning!
How are you doing? Just took me by surprise. Oh yeah, that's what we're here for.
Breakfast cheese?
I'm good. You keep it.
Okay. I'm just saying breakfast cheese. I didn't eat all of it. I was feeling a bit.
I mean, I gathered from you offering me.
yeah, I was feeling a little bit more.
cheese.
I was feeling a little bit more pissed off last night, so I took all the cheese. Didn't need all the cheese. I knew I didn't need all the cheese, but breakfast cheese is a thing now.
It's in the shape of bacon.
I've just like hammered it in a book.
Lovely. Klaxis, what are you looking to do with the day, just so we can set up where we're going with this?
I'll admit, I'm not too sure what he wants to do. He probably wants to go to the library and look at Fury and Blade and whatnot and about the cabin.
We can have a...
But
Group
I
trip.
don't think he wants to go outside today.
No, that's
It's not a
fine.
peopling day, I don't think.
No, that's fine.
I'll
We'll go with you staying in a bedroom
Yeah.
for the time. And if you want to jump out, I'll come over, check on you every now and then and make sure what you want to do. But
I knock on his door.
you knock on Klaxis'
Yeah.
door. Lovely. You knock on the door.
Morning!
How high up's the window?
It's about 15 foot from the floor. Or
You're
from the
not
floor
jumping
outside.
out the window.
No, not like that. I might jump out the window so I don't have to see anyone. But if I jump out, I mean like over, lower myself down, drop like 6 foot.
Klaxis?
It's already gone.
You've gone out the window.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, you drop out the window so you don't have to deal with anyone. You have no answer as you knock on the door.
That bear must have really hit him last night, I suppose.
You notice Boggle is sat in a salute by the front door, by the door in front of Klaxis' bedroom.
Oh, I forgot about him. Oh, that's useful. Good. Happy. I'd entirely forgotten he was there. Hooray!
He's just sat at attention, looking forward.
Did you see him leave?
He shakes his head no for the podcast.
I think he's just sleeping it off. He did seem to be particularly onward, I believe it's called.
Okay.
So, is everything alright? Workplace?
Oh, well, you know.
Boggle.
Well, I'd originally suggested that we have someone keep an eye on him when I thought he had concussion. I don't know why we continued to do that. That's fine. Library?
Library.
Cool. Before this continues, may I ask what languages you both speak?
Speak. So I can
well,
read all languages,
yes,
but
speak.
speaking specifically.
Common and Elvish.
Common Irish, lovely.
That's literally it.
Thank you.
I was very focused on other things, apparently.
I've got Common, Infernal, Abyssal, and Elvish.
Lovely. You both hear a very disturbing noise as you're coming down the stairs into the bar area. There is no one around that you can see, apart from Lucian and Ellipsis, and a bottle between the two of them, as they are singing in this weird kind of it's almost like the Mongolian throat singing, as they are just singing at each other and looking like they're having a whale of a time. The barman is nowhere to be seen. There is no one else in the bar area. It's just those two and a bottle between them with two small glasses here in front of them, and they are singing.
Do we want to approach that? Hororae? Are you okay?
Walk over.
Oh
Cool.
dear God.
You walk over there, they both just grin as they go, morning!
Follow.
It is morning.
A long night, I see.
No, I don't know what. You're underdark. It's hard to tell what time it is. Daytime.
We're
Time
going
of
with
day.
morning.
It's morning.
Yeah,
Morning.
We're heading over to the library. There wasn't an answer at Klaxis' door.
Okay.
Sure, he's just sleeping, but if you could check on him, that would
I had a card about that once. Maybe it's just sleeping.
Okay.
Funny.
Boggle would have told me it's fine. We're on the level. Me and Boggle. We get it. We have stared into the abyss. We have seen it stare back.
Oh.
It's been a long, long night.
Just asking you to keep check.
I'll keep an eye if he comes down. Where you go? You go to library.
Yes.
Library, Covenant, library.
Yes.
Yep.
If he comes down, I will point him to the Covenant library. Unless you get back here first, therefore I will say don't do that, because otherwise I'll be sending him to a library where you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. We'll go. You.
Cool. We're gonna go find. I was gonna say go see a Furbolg about a guide, but I found the Furbolg.
Yes. Well done.
Okay.
Do you want some water before you go do anything else?
No, I would just like the room to stop spinning.
Water helps with that.
No, it doesn't. I just drown quicker.
Okay. Hororae, I think we should go.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
Bye. Have a good day.
You
Don't
too.
find us in the library.
Make me proud.
Unless you're sober.
Make me proud.
Okay. Right. Library time. I'm really excited. Like, if we go now, like, don't stop on the way. We'll be there early. We'll get to the first one.
You're really excited by libraries, aren't you?
Yes. What the fuck were you doing behind me?
Sign language doesn't work on the podcast.
But what it does work is to terrify the person in the middle. I signed something. Wasn't bitch. Wasn't shit. Wasn't that what I thought?
For the podcast, they're doing a series of hand gestures, such as sign language, to make swear words.
Such
That's
as
fair.
all sign language. I'm going to convert you all eventually. Called
No,
you nerd.
because
Oh, call me nerd.
Yeah.
Not wrong on so many levels.
It's,
I mean,
it's a
completely
great
appropriate
medium.
in
Yeah,
this.
that's
For-
fine. I thought it was really mean.
It's a great medium for an audio.
Guys.
For the video guys, welcome back on Wednesdays. Brilliant. Love you, picked up. But for the 15, 20 of you who are sat listening to us right now, I'm so sorry.
Onwards!
Library!
Library.
Gonna get there. Gonna be on time. I'm so excited. I'm
Lead
gonna
the
try
way.
and crack the staff room. I'm gonna talk to people.
Cool. So you guys walk over to the Covenant. Just before we do that, Klaxis, where about you see you going when you've gone out to the room?
I'm going to try and head to the Labourers' Quarter by Zoom, and
Yeah.
then we'll probably end up going back to the Chapel of the Raven Queen.
Lovely. What's about you looking to buy?
Daggers!
Lovely. Daggers are going at a silver a dagger, so you manage to get ones you want. It will be 5 gold. No, it'll be 25 gold for a +1 dagger. How many are you looking for?
I might take 1 + 1
Yep.
and 10 regular.
Yeah,
So
go for it.
that's
You managed to
26
get that. You managed to get that as you wander around, and then we'll pick up again with yourself going to the chapel in but a moment. Right, you two, you go towards the labyrinth. You go to the labyrinth, and as you get to the labyrinth, you get to the front doors of the Covenant, open the reception. This time, the water statues that are there are now showing dragons bearing down at each other. You can't tell what. Actually, you would be able to tell because they have horns that denote which ones they are. Ones with horns down to the side are black dragons. So there's a black dragon to the one on the left, and there is a white dragon on the right. They are bearing down at each other. Either side of the reception desk. It's the 14th of winter, yes. Sitting in the reception is a pale-looking human woman. She has burning red hair, freckles, looks quite nervous as you come in. Morning!
Yes.
Think,
It's definitely morning.
Is it? It could.
Well, we've just woken up, therefore it's morning.
Well, time would suggest that just because you woke up at, if I wake up at 12 in the afternoon, that's still afternoon. It's not morning. You should be a little more careful with what you're suggesting, because if you suggest other things, that might get you in trouble.
Okay. I'm going to suggest that I'm Dr. Planchett.
Planchett? Yes, you're the tiefling lady that's coming this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Do you have the big shine? Hororae?
Yes.
Lovely. Where is the shiny thing?
Did you bring that up?
He's outside.
Okay, that's fine. If he could stay outside in location, that'll be fine.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay.
What's your
I can
name?
show. Morgara.
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 You're right, Morgara.
No,
Why?
because they said you'd be here at 8, and that was a couple of hours ago.
We might have slept a bit longer than we thought we did.
It's very hard to tell time.
Honestly, I thought we were going to be early.
Do neither of you have? And she kind of pulls the sleeve
I
back.
mean, yeah, I literally would. Like, I literally would have said alarms were not. But I didn't say it.
You did drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you drank. You didn't say it.
I know.
Therefore, but she kind of pulls the sleeve down. She shows quite a large contraption
Ooh.
around her wrist. She goes, "Have you never had
You've got something like that.
watch to
I
tell?"
reveal man.
Cool,
Yes.
cool, lovely. Have you set it to Underdark?
No.
Lovely. Because of the
I'm
magnetic
very
field.
Ah.
Because of the magnetic field in the Underdark, it can affect the clockwork. So if you set it to, I don't know if yours has that function, but mine, if I set it to Underdark, it makes it slightly arcane, and therefore it reduces the chance of being thrown off by if I was near a magnet and it pulled it and changed time.
Thank you, Morgara.
It's about 10 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just my watch.
Lovely. We'll go with it's a basic function that people would have made.
Yeah.
You are a clockmaker, you know about
Yeah,
this.
I know.
You would have that
Yeah,
setting.
yeah.
It is. You're probably one of the families that invented this mechanism to do that. Or at least you are from the guild that made the mechanism to do that. Anyway, so it'd be no small feat to suggest that you have better than hers. Anyway, you have the
If not,
Rolex.
I'm making it better.
It's you have the
That's
Rolex,
aggressive.
and she has.
It's not even a Rolex, it's
she has the
one of a
Casio.
kind, handmade.
Schmolex.
Schmolex. You,
She bought it from the market in like
in Thailand.
for like 3 gold. I was like, oh, that's a good deal.
The goblin that's slinging it didn't fall off the back of a cart at all. Don't know what you're about. No, we killed the cart driver and it stayed on the cart. Anyway, You are guided through to the library area. Again, you enter through the entrance which you were shown down the end of that corridor. You are in the public area library again. I'm assuming you're wanting to go to the academic, not cool.
Yeah.
As you walk in, you start to wander around the aisles trying to find the entrance to the academic area. And it is, as you get to the far back of the room, and you find like a kind of like a lip where there's a raise in the floor by about 5-10 feet, and then there's a couple of doors in the wall that at the back of the room. You find that Vagrant is there at a small table, just reading. Kind of looks at you over half moon glasses, just grins and points to one of the door closest to her. If you'd like to go in.
Thank you very much, Vagrant.
Thank you. We just so you're aware. The books that you borrowed yesterday, fine. No book leaves this department.
No problem.
Okay.
Notepad.
Lovely, that's fine. Also, other warning, we suggest, have either of you got a timepiece to keep it up? Cool. So it's around half 10 this morning.
Yes.
Suggest you get out there about 12 for safety reasons, and we'll be able to allow you back in about 2.
What happens over?
Have any of you been in a library containing magical books before?
What's Luskan?
Luskan wouldn't have had one, no.
No. Luskan
Live in Waterdeep.
Waterdeep would have had one. So you are aware of this thing, this jogs your memory, as she starts to say. So a large build-up of magic and books causes a bit of a time bomb, if you will, out of arcane powers. And every now and then we just need to diffuse the room. So we for want of a better word, we fumigate arcane energies out of the room, and we allow the books to return to their normal states.
You refer to it as a time bomb.
Well, it's a time bomb because it kind of builds up every 2 or 3 hours. We've been open for 4 hours now. However, that room hasn't been open for the first hour we've found. For some reason, it's the moment that you open the door to the area that they start to wake up. I don't know if it's that. The books seem to have a bit of a personality. They wake up, they start to charge up, and then we need to diffuse the room. So obviously myself or one of the physicians would be the first to open the door, so we have a timer.
I set an alarm for 15 minutes prior to us needing to leave.
Lovely.
So we're out in plenty of time.
She also explains just before you step through the door that although there may be people that will guide you out, it cannot be guaranteed that you will be picked up. And it's made clear as you step through the door, as you stand on a gangway overlooking this library area. There are stairwells either side of this like 15-foot kind of like metal gridwork ledge that you're stood on, and you are, through the light that is around the room, you can see it stretches off for miles as books just stretch off underneath the Underdark. You can see dotted around are just people wandering around the bookshelves. The closer ones of you can see are in acolyte clothing or in the paladin outfits that you've seen outside. But that's that. I'll ask quickly, what are you looking to look for?
Same as per, but I also want to add weird shadowy shapes on it.
Weird shadowy shapes.
Beat me to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to, if you're both doing that.
Yeah.
So you're looking for time stuff.
So time stuff and Arcadia and Analocan and.
Okay, lovely.
And then, if I pass something that looks like it might be related to what Klaxis has described.
Yes. Okay, so I'd go with, and then you're looking for Geryon, Stygia,
Yeah.
Entrance to Stygia, and dark creatures like that.
Because I know nothing except dark shadowy.
Can I have 2 investigation checks from you both?
Yeah.
One with disadvantage.
Cool. Both of mine are
Investigation.
Yes, please.
investigation. That is 15 for both.
15 for both, nice.
So I have a 10 and 25.
10 and a 25. Which one's the disadvantage for
The
us?
10.
The 10, just making sure.
I rolled a 3, but I got a +7.
Ooh.
Okay, that's fine. Lovely. We'll come back to that in a moment. Master Klaxis.
Sweet. Oh.
So you're going over to the chapel of the Raven Queen once again.
Hi.
Lovely. You wander down the graveyard path. You get to the doors. Again, it's very quiet. Even with the light burning from behind from the beacon, it feels like a shadowy, dark area. The room kind of feels like the shadows around you are moving almost. And again, there's just a few pews and this massive raven statue.
No one around?
And then 2 doors. No one around. You know that Leviticus has gone in and out of the right door.
Yeah. I do it just before I go in, just like put a couple a silver down.
Yep.
Right. And then I'm going to go look through the left door slightly. Are you right there, Ted?
I just said pew pews. I just really enjoyed it.
Cool. I'm going to go put the gold, silver down, and I'm going to go through the, just like, does the left door have any writing on it?
Sorry.
Does the left door have any writing on it?
No writing on either door. Are you just trying to listen for what's behind it, or are you just...
Yeah.
Lovely. Make a perception check for me.
10.
10. You can't hear much behind the door, but you can hear like the faint drip of water. It sounds echoey behind the door.
Can I try and stealth to open it so I can have a look
Yeah.
through?
Roll a stealth check.
Ooh, Torrance is not my friend. 16.
16. Lovely. You open the door. It seems very well oiled. You open the door, and there is a stairwell just going directly down.
It's not ominous at all. Cool. I'm just gonna leave the door slightly ajar.
Yep.
Yeah, he probably would because he's trying stuff. Go back out to Tom Riddleston's grave.
Yep.
I'm gonna take one of my daggers and just cut myself on it and just put like blood on the top.
Yep.
Just to see what happens.
You take a point of damage.
Yes, I would do.
As you slice your hand open, place your hand on, nothing seems to happen.
Just making sure my badass death blood doesn't do anything to it.
No?
Cool, I'm gonna head on down that sticky staircase, stealthing.
Lovely.
I'm looking for something. Is it like a recordsy room?
You step down a couple of feet, feel about 10, 15 feet into the earth below you, and it comes out onto a corridor that leads about 5, 10 feet into an opening area where there's just a few long tables with just benches either side. There seems to be a couple of about 3 or 4 doors on the wall opposite you in this room, but it just stretches down for about 15, 20 feet, and there's kind of like a food service area down the bottom.
Okay, so I had a little part. Do those doors have anything written on them?
No, there's no writing on the doors.
Damn this bloody religion and their inability to write things down. I whisper. I just go to the first door and have a peek.
Lovely. You pop your head in, and there is a circular room that kind of, the corridor juts off a little bit and then makes a circle so it doesn't knock if there was a room next to this, the wall wouldn't disrupt it. There's a circular room which is filled mainly with a large pool of red blood in the middle of the floor. Close this door.
Okay, next one.
You open that one. There's a large room of blue blood.
Richard of York gave battle in vain.
No, in the second door, you step through, and there's just a broom closet. Because everyone needs cleaning stuff.
Everywhere does need a clean closet. Is that where the porn is being filmed?
Now it is, as you step through and Leviticus comes in and, I was just getting dressed.
Germans will watch anything. I'll do the same with the third and fourth doors
Lovely.
to see if there's anything of interest.
You find in the third and fourth rooms that there are just lavatories.
I mean, it makes sense that you need them.
You assume that the people that use this place seem to know which ones they're allowed to use, but there are each door leads to another set of lavatories.
Probably the sexist. Elves are drow elves, whatever.
That's what you find.
Okay, I'm going to wander back into the room for blood. Oh, that's a sentence that doesn't bode well. He's not that dumb. He's fairly wise. He probably wouldn't. No, because I would, but Klaxis wouldn't. He wants answers, not more questions. He'll go back upstairs and knock on the door on the right.
Yep. You hear a couple of fumbled noises, and then the door opens, and a almost half-dressed Leviticus answers the door. Yes.
So she was making porn. Sorry to bother you at such an early time, whatever it is.
Mr. Klaxis, was it?
Yes. Yes. Sorry. Do you have any information on this, Tom Riddleston or whatever? Just
Again.
abating my curiosity. Any he's died. He must have some paperwork or something about graves.
If you could just give me a moment.
Is this fancy?
Look, she closes the door. You hear a couple of fumbles again behind, and then she comes back to the door, opens it fully this time, and you see essentially what is a makeshift office in this one room with a bed that is leant against the wall now. She kind of guides you in and offers you a seat at the desk in there. It's about 40 by 40 foot. There are a couple of cabinets either side of the room, and then again this bed is leant against the wall. She's put it up on its I can't remember the word I'm thinking of.
Yes, I understand entirely.
Thank you. with not the backboard, but the foot end. Headboard?
No,
that's
Oh,
backboard, sorry.
footboard.
The footboard we'll go with. I don't know if that's what it's referred
The
to.
end of the bed.
The bed end. She's standing on that.
what?
Either way, to allow more space. She goes, right, okay, grab a seat, goes over to one of the cabinets and pulls it, and it ridiculously long cabinet drawer comes out of the cabinet, as is always, and she starts flicking through files and pulls out a file, closes the cabinet, comes over to you and goes, again, as I was mentioning yesterday, Tom Riddleston, nothing impressive. He was a ledger for an accounting firm that lived here. He wrote a few novellas. Other than that, the most he's ever done, flicking through the file, the most he's ever done is he took a sabbatical to Gravenhollow about 2 or 3 years ago.
Did he die 5 years ago?
Can't remember, made it up off the top of my head. Probably just before he died.
You mean he died 5 months ago? Okay, it's fine.
Just before he died, he made a sabbatical to Gravenhollow.
I was concussed.
So was I.
Gravenhollow.
Gravenhollow, yes.
What's that?
Sorry?
What's that?
It's a large library.
I probably would know, being a member of the religion, though. What is it?
Gravenhollow is a large library to the west of here in the Underdark. It's where Menzoberranzan keeps its files on different studies and such. It is where we keep some books which are quite worrisome, and it is essentially like a stronghold and a large building created as a lockbox for certain items that we keep in the Underdark to keep the surface world safe.
Sweet, that sounds like a fun holiday.
You remember this being mentioned yesterday when you were entering Menzoberranzan. Bruce 1 explained the Necronomicon had been found by One-Eye Larry.
My note says Gravenhollow fucks with your mind.
Yes.
Written Larry down.
One-Eyed Larry.
Right, cheers. Do you have a function room I could use it out just because, stay away?
Function. We have a mess hall downstairs for those that when we have visiting parties, they use downstairs.
Cool, it's like toilet facilities, all that nonsense down there?
Toilets, cleaning closet, yes.
Anything particularly? I'm just because they're not your kids. Anything like dangerous?
Depends on who's cooking, I guess.
Oh, you know, witty fucker, like you and what? Do you want to go down and have a look?
By all means.
Sweet, I'll see you later. Oh, can I just take this file just to put in my notes?
No.
I won't let it leave the building.
No.
Yeah.
That doesn't leave this room.
Fine.
She
Wrong,
takes
I'm
it.
going to make notes while looking at it.
Again, offers you the note
noticed,
to read.
but-
Explains, just because I can't remember what I said at the beginning, because I was making parts of it up. What? He died about 5 years ago. He went about 5.5 years ago to Graven Hollow. Boom. Other than that, very, very clean, squeaky clean record. Doesn't seem to have much to him. He seems to have made little ripples in the pond that is life.
Sweet. I'm going to head on back downstairs and then go to the blood room.
Cool. You go downstairs. You walk straight through the door into the blood room.
I got a lovely function room, assist. Close the door. Oh, fuck. Oh, I love the unisex bathrooms. That's really walk.
There's a bevel.
Close.
Lovely.
Toasties. It's great. Everyone loves toasties. Except those who hate gluten.
I'm going to leave you in that
I
room.
don't hate it. I love it. It hates me.
Going to leave you in that room and come back to these two.
No, well,
Right,
that's okay.
ladies. You are currently looking
So
around
choice.
trying to find things on Garion. You're trying to find for Planchett. Your first fun fact of the day comes from.
He's prepared things.
I always prepare things.
Am I getting something else? Getting more stuff?
I can never remember. There it is. So your first thing comes from the lovely Anna Maudsley in Kent, Derby. She writes in to say, "Dear Planchett."
I've just started writing your name down.
I'm joking. Don't write down.
I knew it was a mistake as soon as you said the name.
I was just having fun with a points of view. Anyway, no. You find some books that
There is
suggest
no fun in academia.
you haven't been to a symposium on zombie porn. I have, with my degree.
And neither have you been to a very, very interesting day about the Boer War. Hosted at a wonderful place called the Y Theatre. The Y Theatre is a wonderful day of interest in the Boer
Me
War.
and Adam had the best time running front of house for that shift. Anyway,
You've never been to the AMA conference.
either way, back to fun. You are told of a small location, actually just a day's ride east of the entrance to Menzoberranzan. And its name is Settlestone.
Oh.
What?
Settlestone, as in settle and stone as one word.
Yep.
It is the site of some runic stones, not to be confused with one stone, which is the site where Vecna killed the Circle of Eight, or at least in this world before anyone starts fucking tweeting me.
So, site of plural runic stones.
Site of plural runic stones, which is suggested to be an entrance to the Nine Hells. Doesn't say which layer of the Nine Hells, but apparently there is a portal there that allows entry, if you know how to open it.
Do have it. So I do have a dog, but I don't know how to have horse.
You also find a very detailed account of several of the wars, that Garion has fought in, and explains his battle tactics. It explains how he manoeuvred his armies. Very much explains how he rinsed the other side of the war. And made him very favourable amongst the lords of the Nine Hells. Whilst looking along for the shadow beings, you find a plethora of different things. However, none of them seem to lean towards the exact description that you were given. The closest that you can find is what is referred to as a... This is where he needs his...
Alright,
thing.
I'm still writing.
That's fine, keep writing whilst I remember the exact wording.
Okay.
Thanks to my beastery.
I really like the word plethora. It holds a special place. It means a lot.
Adam,
Twice today.
Adam,
Twice.
I need to ask you a very serious question as I search this.
How many disadvantages do I have?
No, it's nothing like that, darling. It's more, do you want to leave Kyra because I have a bigger ring for you? And you can take that any way you like. Anyway.
Anyway, that's it.
I promised to fake laugh at all the jokes. I'll make
Oh no, is it not put into this?
No, you won't.
Yes, I will. Oh my god.
I haven't updated my beastery on my iPad, I apologise. I believe the referring is a star spawn larvae.
Ooh, star.
I believe that's the one I'm thinking of. It looks like a spider made of shadows.
Oh.
For out of game, just for Kyra, so you can find a place of it. Do you remember the spiders you fought, which were continually bombarding you against Brother Hask in campaign 1?
Yeah.
Those.
Okay.
So I will remind myself once I get back to my my proper files, because I haven't updated my my drawers and such on this one, and it doesn't seem to have the right name, but I'm pretty sure it's a star spawn larvae.
Yes. I will look forward to a really interesting document.
Yes, you will get another interesting document. However, that's the only thing you can find close towards what was being described. It doesn't seem to have anything about red eyes or anything, or more human being, more humanoid look. They specifically look like 8-legged shadow spiders. For Hororae. You are looking for time magics. You are looking for Arcadia, and you are looking for the shadow beings. You can't find anything on the shadow beings other than the book that you then find in Planchett's hand.
You got it.
Other than that, you find a couple of books that describe like shadow demons being more mistaken encounters with whites and ghost beings and stuff like that.
I was thinking more along the lines of like, because of the way he's described it, like manifestations of familial curses.
No, that's fine. If you're looking for that, I would go with.
Probably still a hard no.
Yeah, you're finding misinterpretations of hauntings through whites, ghosts, ghouls, that sort of thing. None of them have description. As you're reading through, you go. It starts with that conversation of a thing that has been kind of materialised on the plane of existence and then has chased down the family. But then the description of it is, say, a haggard, white-skinned kind of flesh demon type thing, not the black smoky demon that has burning red eyes and such that you've been told by Klaxis. For your Arcadia and time searching, however, 25, and you find very little. It seems that although there is some studies into time, there is not a lot of perusal by the people that have done it. You find books describing the first time time stop has been cast, and although no name is given by the wizard, you are told about the person who came up with the spell, explaining how the spell works and such like that. And you have that with each of the time spells as you go through. These seem to be the only things you can find are just historical documentary of when a time spell has been created.
Okay.
There's not a lot else in this area.
Cool. In which case, I'll probably use my time to make notes from the book that I found before about the different spells and basically what you said. I'll just actually write it down because I have to give the book back.
That's fine. Lovely. I'll leave you two there. We'll say that's been about 3 or 4 hours as you've been running around this room trying to find books and stuff like that.
As soon as my alarm goes off,
yeah, I'd say
we will leave.
Just so we get
so
that.
not 3 or 4 hours.
No, that's fine. No,
because
technically
we went in
3.
at about 10.
Technically 3 or 4 hours. So what we'll do is just because I completely forgot that there was a time limit on this. No, I didn't. I just wanted to kill you all. You get to your alarm. You get to
Well,
where
I
your
set
alarm
my
is.
alarm.
It was more I was going to go, I'll leave you with that and then go back to this, but then I'll go, actually we'll describe that so it's done. Your alarm goes off about 11:45 as set. You grab Planchett and you start to make your way towards the exit. As you get there, it's only taking about 5 minutes to get there. You get outside and there is basically a small hub of like students of the Collegium and a couple of quite authoritative figures, all just kind of sat in the chairs which need to be set up around the doors that enter this area. And you both sit listening as the room is completely silent, apart from the breathing of the people around you. And then there is almost like hearing a bomb go off in the next room. You just hear this, and you get like small dust come off the ceiling and the walls around you. And then a couple of minutes pass, and Vagram stands up in front of everyone. You're more than welcome to return. Anyone going near the transmutation books, as warned the last time this happened, take time. Please be patient before picking up a book. If it bites you back, we're sorry, but we do not pay any refunds. And yes, enjoy, and just let everyone back in so you can continue reading. You are told again you have 3 or 4 hours before the next one.
Set an alarm
Yeah,
again,
you set
so
your
I'm
alarm
safe
again.
side.
Anyway, back to Klaxis. Klaxis, you are in the room with the blood pool.
Do I see anything different with Champy in my peripherals being all flippy flappy ghosty?
No. As you focus in on it, nothing seems to be different.
Good. Can I tell from looking at it what this room is for, or like any markings anywhere, or is there a helpful sign which says, "Warning: do not use the birthing pool for anything other than birthing"? Anything like that?
There is no signs on the wall.
Damn it, that's rude.
There is a simple. Now you're looking around, you notice that there is a simple, almost discreet in the manufacture of it. There is a small ledge that sits at the bottom of the wall on the far end of the room, where it could be used as a seat or putting things on it if you were to derobe and then get into the pool or something like that. But it's just a simple plinth that is on the end. It's only about 2 or 3 feet out of the wall and sits about 2 or 3 feet off the floor, but almost expertly crafted to blend in with the wall as you stepped in. As you start to walk around, you notice it. The pool itself, there are no runes or anything like that.
I'm going to reach down just to make sure the blood's not warm.
You place your hand or place a finger into it just to test it. It's icy cold.
At least it's not fresh.
Do you do that?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Cool. What I need you to do is, could you roll 4d6 for me?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I've got them there. Hey. Oh, that's good because what's great with me in D6 is I roll them really well.
Yep.
18.
18, cool. Could you roll another 4d6 for me?
Oh yeah, I can do.
Could you do that 4 more times for me, please?
Yes.
No, you're not adding them all together, you're writing new stats.
Oh, cool.
I think I'm sorry, I just saw it opening and I couldn't fail. No,
it's happening.
no, it's not happening. You're not writing a new character.
I've rolled really well so far. Ooh.
Someone's playing a bard. No.
They're pretty decent.
Could I ask you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
19.
19, lovely. There is a moment where as you taste the blood, you get this kind of chill run down your spine, and it's almost like you forget how to breathe, and your entire body starts to feel like it's clenching in on itself and trying to squeeze you. Your ribcage trying to squeeze your lungs. Your chest cavity is basically trying to kind of implode. And then you kind of focus, you shake it off, and you are fine again. And then you just hear this as feet are running down the stairs from the next room, and the door slams open, and Leviticus is stood, just eyes burning with rage, just stares directly at you. Yeah.
I think you'll find this is probably a health and safety risk for children. Ask nicely.
I'm going to ask how you got into this room.
I opened the door. It wasn't locked. I was checking the toilet facilities. I saw two. You've got a very well stocked broom cupboard, and I thought this fourth door might be useful to look through as well.
Okay.
I like the gravel.
Okay.
Can I ask quickly? Why have you got a giant pool full of cool blood?
How much do you know about the Raven Queen?
Enough.
How much do you know about blood walking?
Apparently not very much. Someone does though.
Someone's not in the room.
I know.
Anyway.
As soon as you mentioned it, I was like.
We put the Red Church into the game, so it's fine.
Yep.
But also,
But also, it is in.
yes, there's lots of things that link up in this wonderful world that is RPG stuff. Anyway, that pool is used for communication with other chapels
Alright.
and with our deity herself.
Mm-hmm.
What did you just do to it?
I made sure the water wasn't. I was, to be honest, checking it wasn't fresh blood.
No, it's not fresh blood.
That's fine.
It is, without doing the exact maths, about 45% water.
So it's blood.
20% butcher's blood, for want of a better term. I don't know if it comes from a cow or a pig. And then the other 35%.
Just for these guys because they're a bit slow.
It's
35.
The other 35 is of our Lady's patrons.
Oh, it's donated.
Yes. Big bunny ears. Yes, we each offer part of ourselves. However, quite a unique process. I can tell when someone's fucking with the pool of blood because I have part of my blood in it. I have a connection with the pool.
Probably just put a sign up.
Normally this door is left locked, and I will
Well,
be launching an investigation into why it wasn't locked in the first place.
aren't you the only person who works here?
You say that. You say that I'm the only person that works here. Yes, I am the person who looks after Menzoberranzan's chapel, and yes, I am the person who looks after, as you've seen in my office, the ledgers of those that have died at this city and are buried in this graveyard. However, as I've just explained, this pool allows communication and transportation between ourselves and other chapels, meaning that someone has been through this pool
And not lock the door behind them.
and not locked the door behind them, to the point that I wasn't informed they were coming through.
Does that happen often?
No, that does not happen often.
Well, I'll bid you good day. If you need extra blood, just let us know. I tend to close the door on her and they'll be like, look. I lock the door now. Jokes.
You walk past her, she just is staring at the pool as you walk out. She makes no movement against you, she just stands staring. You notice as you get closer she is shaking with anger.
Well, I might see you soon. You never know. Depends on the day. Good look.
Fantastic. Lovely. Where else you go after that?
I'll probably go back to the in and chat to Lucian and see if the drunks are awake.
That's still there. As you get into the pub, you wander back. You get into the pub. Ellipsis is just knocked out, cold, sleeping. You could hear the snoring as you're coming up the street. He's just leant back on the chair. His feet are up on the table. He looks gone. And Lucian is just very calmly drinking another shot glass, very slowly, just looking at him and smiling, and kind of raises his glass to you as you come in.
Do you need the rest of that bottle?
You can have yourself. You
Just take the bottle.
take it.
I'm going to take a swig, but it's just it's not nice. Blood is not tasty.
Also,
I've got AIDS now.
because it's you and we go with character stuff, as you take a swig from the bottle, could you make a constitution check with advantage?
That's good. 19.
19, lovely. You have drank your fair share of whiskies. You have drank your fair share of turpentine. Well, whatever this is, its aftertaste is like the kick you get from a very good whiskey. The kick before is just painful almost. Your eyes start to water. And you look at the bottle, it basically just says Fire Giant's whiskey.
No.
Never again. Fire Giant's whiskey. You are familiar with this brand. It is something that is used for its. It's sometimes used to clean barnacles off the sides of boats. But it's not something for recreational drinking.
Cool. I'm going to take the bottle and go upstairs. Say hi to Boggle.
He just salutes at you and then sits back down.
A really confused Boggle. I would have. No, it's fine. I'll just go back to my room and just. Yeah, probably nap.
Lovely. You go up. Boggle genuinely looks at you, salutes, and then just sits back down and just lets his head bob forward.
I'm not saluting back.
Oh.
He's fallen asleep. You don't know. Fine.
I don't
What?
sleep.
He's not looking. Francis.
Anyway, you guys spend your time reading. Like I said, those are the things that you find over the time that you've got, and then are guided once again back out of the reception. What would you guys like to do as you head back towards? I'm assuming head back towards Lost Respite.
Is there anywhere I can get like an egg timer or something that does a few hours? Because I'm assuming that's going to be cheaper than an actual watch.
I'd say as you head back, you pop into one of the local shops there, just do bric-a-brac, and you find yourself like a small egg timer. Lasts about an hour each side, so when you flip it, it lasts an hour, then you flip it again, it lasts an hour.
That's cool.
Okay.
How much was that?
2 gold.
Oh, gold. Thank you. Egg timer. Tools and equipment. Yes, it is.
You guys start to head back towards the pub as well.
Yeah.
It's with your time and such like that. I'd say it'd be coming about 4 or 5 o'clock as you start to head back up towards the Lost Respite.
Awesome. Food?
Yes.
Food? I'll actually go. I'll go see Klaxis.
Yeah.
Cool. I pop upstairs.
Cool.
Knock on Klaxis' door.
Cool. You knock on Klaxis' door. Klaxis, you hear a knock on the door.
Hi.
Hi, Klaxis.
Hello. I thought you'd gone.
We'd come back. I did knock on your door, but you didn't answer, so I'm assuming you were asleep. Are you feeling alright?
Open the door.
Yes. Still a bottle in hand. Right.
Starting early?
Yeah, I mean, that's like 4 hours, whatever.
Thank you. You gonna come down for some food? Takes a swig.
A constitution check.
Oh yeah, because I was quite anxious. He's anxious. He's just like scraped the lid off.
That was fucking lucky. That is 21.
21. again,
Apparently, Luskan does some hard stuff.
it is a kick like no other. You've not had anything like this. It's almost like it knocks the air out your lungs, and then you slowly get used to the aftertaste, and then it settles.
It's quite a nice tea, isn't it?
Yeah. Where'd you get this?
No, it's fine. It's just a tea.
It's not a tea.
Aye.
No, it isn't.
Ah,
I have
yeah.
had alcohol before, you know. Not entirely.
For yourself, as you are going downstairs, I would say that Lucian has gone by the time that you two get back, but Ellipsis is currently just snoring in a chair, feet on the table, head back.
I'm going to sit there and work out what am I going to do? Yeah, I'll do that. I want to see if I can work out a way to communicate with a construct over a distance.
Okay.
Like you talk his bitch, but like inner. Inside.
So message.
Yeah, basically. Message, but that I can do when I can't do message.
I like it.
With the construct, so that I can
Yes.
send it on a mission, I can see what it's doing and communicate it to do other
Yes.
things. That's
Lovely.
what I want to work out.
Cool. Make an intelligence check for me.
Probably. No. I've not worked that out. Just straight intelligence. 7.
7.
It's been a long day.
Pretty
I've
much
done a
what
lot of
Adam's
reading.
just said. You start going that you know there is a spell that essentially allows you to send a small message towards a known location, a known person in a location. As long as they're on the same plane, you can contact them regardless of how far they are. I think it's sending that does one, sorry, not message. Message is
Yeah.
25 words or less.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the ability. They can
Yeah.
understand language, but they can't.
Yeah.
recognise it. Yet.
But yes, you know of this spell. You just have no idea how you'd put that into an item to use it and stuff like that. You also have no idea how to cast it, so you have no idea how you would put that enchantment in. However, I will give you this. You remember a brief comment that Ellipsis said last night that Dr. Lucian makes enchanted objects.
Yeah.
He spends his time making music and poetry, but also he's a grave domain cleric. He has to make the books work by people, so he enchants things and does uses his music to do things. Anyway, so you know that.
I'm going to come on down.
Yep.
Like, push 4 dots, legs of the table. Like,
Yep.
Good.
So
Seats.
waves it. Sorry. No, not having that again.
What's that? I've got a bottle in my hand. I'm just
One.
like pouring myself a nice glass.
One.
You.
Me.
Ball.
Ball.
1 shot. You.
No, not again.
Yep.
No, it
It's
hurts.
really good stuff. What's wrong? Go on, have some.
Have you ever? Are you familiar with? With the firm Deja Vu?
Are you familiar with the phrase?
I'm just knocking it back.
Are you familiar with the phrase "hair of the dog that bite you"?
Yes, I'm very aware of that. But no, it
I
hurts.
know full well this dog has not just bitten you, it's savaged you, gorged you, and like attempted to kill your whole family. But the hair will make it better.
Okay. He puts his cup forward. Take assholes.
I pour myself another one.
You're gonna be so fucked.
Oh yeah.
How small are you?
That's small. I'm pretty average offhand.
Your weight.
So, yeah, cool. Sorry. What
5,602
are we doing? How was the what time is it?
It's about 6.
Yeah. Evening.
Evening. Cool. Evening. I'm
We've
not
done.
sleeping tonight. I think.
I think you probably should.
No, what
Have
we
some
need.
food.
That's what we need. Food. Food would be good. Food would be good. Find the dog that's bit me and then cook the bastard.
I take the bottle away.
How was your jaunt to the library?
Oh, it was good. Got some more stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna look through things. I've got a plan to do while you lot are gone. So I think it might be an idea to look in the other library because it's the militia libraries.
There is the phalanx,
Yeah.
which has we'll have.
So the phalanx because I want to check out a few bits there. Try see if I can get to Gravehall. I'm not sure if they let me in. I might need to do some more work on that. And there's a location not too far from here, which I think I should look at. So,
You got a plan?
got a plan.
Sweet.
We'll be doing things. If you guys have anything at all you want me to look up, speak now.
Could you find me an itemised list of everything law the Court of King Klaxis ever found?
Are you joking?
No, I want an itemised list of everything the Court of King Klaxis ever found.
Okay.
Thank you.
Itemized list of. Oh, could you?
Is this during the parade and they're just passing by?
Is this a thing? Yeah. Come on, I'm gonna take it as like red.
No, it's what he's asking for.
Yeah, can you spell
I'll send you in a message because I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to go find my Rolf Harris CD.
Are you sending her off on some?
No. Over the table. Over the table. If you have to go find a list of everything the Court of King Klaxis has ever had, he will save you going to the Settlestone for at least 2 weeks. Because the song is just adds an item every line, so it becomes more and more items. It's a reference for the nerds.
Not this kind of nerd, obviously.
But either way, it also is just him going, I can distract you from going to Stygia.
I mean, this is low on the list, but yeah.
I'm fine, but that sounds very important. We should do it.
Mhm.
Yes,
Check it
definitely.
twice.
Keep an eye out for any time bait. I mean, I've had a good look, but it doesn't seem like many people keep records, so I don't think we'll find anything. But you know, if you
So, I
happen
know
to.
you've got stuff on spells. Is it something in particular? Is there different? Cause you can investigate things from different angles.
Yeah.
So-
I'm not sure.
Maybe do a literary angle. Be interesting. Bit fluffy, but
No harm in it though.
yeah. See. Are you sure there's nothing I can do?
I'm fine, but thank you for offering.
Oh! Another one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Scares you every time.
if you could find for me, there was once a wonderful recipe for cottage pie. I don't know what it is, but it's somewhere to the south of here. They do the best cottage pie ever known to man. I need to know exactly what goes into it. I need you to find out what goes into the cottage pie down south.
That's pretty random.
Specifically, if you need areas, Waterdeep, Daggerford, that sort of area, you're looking around that area, they do really nice cottage pie. Find out that for me.
I always let the cake out in the rain if you can find the recipe for that. Acquaintance
Slowly, a penny starts to drop.
Hororae, you don't seem particularly thrilled with your tea.
It's not really yielded anything of any use.
Could be worse.
Yeah, you can spell it with fucking Lucian. Ah. How are there 4 of you, even though I know there's 3 of you?
Don't worry, it's my crazy shadow monster.
Not reading into that. Cool.
I'm good. I'm excited, actually. I'm really excited.
Okay, that's good. Yep.
So, should we plan somewhere to meet up? Like at some point.
Depends how long you think we're going to be. I don't know.
When shall we 4 meet again?
I'm
shit.
just thinking if we have a.
I was meant to do a couple of days ago. Is there a place that sends like messages?
Yeah, you'd have this post
I
office.
should probably send a letter home at some point
Cool.
to let them know.
We can say that you did that at some point today if you want.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice.
Lovely. You send.
I'm alive. I'm sorry to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, that Papa is all kind of squished.
Cool. You send that back.
I'll come home at some point. I'm just trying to keep my distance for a while. You know why.
5 silver for delivery. Just to mark that off. But yes, that is sorted for you.
Yeah, what is sadness?
If you guys have a set route, I can follow along the routes because you're going to be going somewhere and you're ending up in Arcadia anyway. So,
Is it just best to say Arcadia then?
See you in a month?
well, I hope to see you earlier than that, but it could be
Fortnight, a month?
Yeah.
3 weeks? Look at the difference.
Good estimate.
Look, we've got
And
different-
quite frankly, I think by the sound of things where we're going, it's probably best that you don't go there alone. So just skirt right round it.
Oh yeah, I wasn't planning to follow
I'd take the
exactly.
surface. Yeah, I'd take the 2 weeks travel. Surface, brilliant. It's really nice.
So you
It's
spend,
quite scenic.
spend another week here.
Some lakes, very lovely.
Very nice. I will enjoy time. I mean, I'll miss you guys.
I mean, we've
Feel
sort of-
free,
we've got
like,
5 more days in
not
so.
to pile on. Are you staying longer? I thought you were
Well, we've
leaving
got-
soon.
The room's been booked for a week, apparently.
Yeah, I don't.
We can leave early if we need to, but
Leroy will do a refund. He's just like you said. You didn't know how long you were going to stay in here. He's done your deal. He always does it. He's nice.
well, are we thinking of leaving tomorrow?
I don't know that I've got anything more to stay for.
Yeah, tomorrow morning would be a good time to start heading down south. I can go let Lucian know to have the guide ready and primed.
Oh, sweet.
I have no idea what she's going to be like, but I know that we have a guide for down that way.
Well then, yeah, we're better leaving tomorrow morning.
Well, as I said, I'll miss you guys. Like, it's been really nice.
Hey, Hororae, could you put your fist out for a second? Okay, on 3, rock, paper, scissors. Right?
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, scissors!
Also scissors.
I'll be a junior.
What's happening?
I
One.
don't know.
Right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Scissors.
Just go on.
Smack.
Don't
Yeah, I'm
miss-
gonna miss you too, Planchett.
I thought that
God,
was
it's gonna be.
I don't feel the sincerity somehow.
Never do I, but I lost rock, paper, scissors, so.
Well, we're gonna miss you, whatever happens. Right?
Thank you for your help.
No problem.
Thank you for a distraction.
I'm glad you had fun and aren't stuck in Luskin.
Yes.
Thanks.
Worst case, we'll see you back at the house.
Exactly.
You still come back to the house?
Well,
Actually, that might be a thing
Have
to
it.
because if we're going to Arcadia and then we might be going elsewhere, it might just be a case of we go back to the house
After Arcadia?
after
I mean,
Arcadia,
I
then
will
house.
be meeting you either on the way or in Arcadia. I'm not ditching you guys.
Look, right, anyway, we'll be in Arcadia for like a week or whatever. If we see you, we see you. If not, if we haven't seen you in like 6 weeks, we'll get back on the house.
It's just so we don't have that awkward thing of, we're going to find a sword in the middle of the Underdark, one of us dies, and then, you then start wandering around what happened to the other two because they've broke up over this awkward moment where, one of them is distraught and starts blaming themselves and the other one starts crying and then kills themselves in the middle of this gory scene.
I mean, I don't understand how meeting you back at the house at some point in the distant future is going to help with this. But yeah,
Well, at least you can pick up the post as
It's
well.
more if we are unable to find each other in Arcadia, we will be back at the house, which is a more specific
It's a spot we know what we mean.
target.
That's fine, but
And
I
also,
will be meeting you on the.
So, yeah, we're not telling you can't.
No, we're not telling you can't. It's a backup. Plan B. Plan B.
also,
Plan B, okay.
as you keep saying, this is the first time you've had a chance to see an academic library and such like that. Maybe you find that reading several books takes more than a week or two.
I've got a pretty firm idea of how long this is going to take, and how long I want to take, because that's the other lesson you learn quite quickly in academia. But yeah, I'll be, like I said, I'll meet you there. Awesome. Cool. Anybody want some more whiskey?
I think we all do one. No, hang on, holiday. I've drank blood today. I'm fairly sure this isn't a problem.
what?
Look, there's a lot of things I
What?
do.
Why did you drink blood?
I had to make sure it wasn't fresh.
Why? Where was this blood? Why did you have to drink it to know if it was fresh
Cheers!
or not?
Are you gonna tell us?
Why would they tell you anything? I'm very concussed.
You're not concussed
Damn it!
anymore.
Look, underneath the channel to the roof of the Raisin Queen, there happens to be like a blood pool, whatever they use for travelling between the two. I see a giant puddle of blood. I'm like, oh no, I hope it's not fresh because that's quite bad. Touch it. Oh, it might not be human. Oh no, it is human.
But you know the taste of... I don't understand which is the more disturbing part of the story.
I mean, this is a constant wound, and you can't let it bleed on the floor. So it's like, you wonder what it tastes like. I've not drank someone else's. That'd be weird, but I have now. Probably lots of people. Oh, there's lots of ladies' blood, which.
Want to
What?
put this on my list?
Of what? I mean, you can't. Yeah, do you know what? It means you don't go to the stitch end of this.
I'm not going to Stygia. I'm just looking it up for my boss.
I mean, that's good. Do you know what? Yeah, well, do you know what? Actually, I'll be quite interested to see how many diseases I've probably caught.
Alright.
Roll for AIDS.
Pathfinder, we don't have that roll.
Oh, I rolled 1982.
Which one of the
I mean,
four
you also
are
rolled
you?
a D12.
I know, but they didn't see that. You've ruined it for everybody. Fine. Oh, D100 and see what number comes up. It's in the 80s.
That is literally how, that's how it goes.
56. I'm patient 0.
I was going to say, wasn't that syphilis?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So bite your nose.
Oh, I can get that nice.
Oh, the things we know.
Anyway,
Al
sweet.
Capone is now the backup character for anyway.
It's been a fun old day.
What time do we want to leave in the morning?
Why,
I
you
will
set
set an
an
alarm.
Depends. How much drinking are you planning to do tonight to celebrate this one? And have time with the group? How much drinking do you want to do to celebrate your fun, adventures? Right?
I'm not dying and I'm not leaving permanently.
I know, but it's just nice to give a kind of, hey!
No
I
one's
do that.
leaving impossible certain death. I'm literally just doing books.
We're just trying to throw you a party to see.
I am going to go to Lucian's. I will be back in about an hour or so. If you are still drinking, I will join you for 2. Because
pints
nobody ever means one
of
more.
whiskey.
2 pints of whiskey would be a lot.
Counts as 2.
Okay, fine. We'll work out what happens when we get to that bit. But I'm going to go to Lucian's. So you free deal yourself. I'm going.
Tingly.
Bye!
Do you think I might be able to ask him a question? Or
Do you want me to ask him for you, or are you asking to come to Lucian's?
can I come to Lucian?
I mean,
I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to impose on.
you got rid of the goat last night, don't worry. Adam, please. It's much more complicated. It's D&D. Anyway. When an Azamar and a Furlong love each other very much.
I'm going to hide my
They make an
horns
abomination,
quickly.
should be killed at birth.
And then they moved to Nuneaton. Anyway. So,
That's 6.
That's crazy.
anyway, yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't mind you coming if you want to follow. Yeah, fine.
Thank you.
Cool.
Back in.
Right, and there were 2.
Drink!
Oh, so now you want to party.
Oh no, I do want to drink.
No,
I'm
Mummy and Daddy have
just-
gone, we're going to party.
I never said I didn't want to drink. I'm not feeling
It's not a good
the
play party.
sincerity.
It's like Friday or something.
Well, I'll drink to that. It's fine. Pass.
Just poured that out.
Get it
It's the
over.
ball,
Thank
fuck
you.
Lovely. So you two, we will leave you to drink
A straw. You straw pedo in the whiskey.
Not quite. She's
We'll
not.
leave you two
She
drinking.
triggers on all the books.
I'm not conjuring on books.
Shall leave you two drinking whiskey in the bar. Hororae, you follow Ellipsis across city into the jewellery quarter of the city. This is the area which has a lot of the buildings are much more bombastic and have kind of like designs and such made out of gems, and emeralds along the walls. He leads you to a kind of, I want to say what looks like several buildings that have been dropped onto each other, or has been built by an expressionist artist who had a vision and then drank and had another vision. And it just has a simple kind of sign that says Dr. Lucian's above the door. You enter and there is just this very low frumming noise. There is nothing else in the room. There's just this low frumming noise and just a simple empty shop area. There's a desk where you'd have like the till. There are a couple of shelves against the around the walls and such like that. And you have just Lucian is sat scribbling away a book at the desk. And he just looks up and just grins as you walk through. Ellipsis just kind of walks directly past him into the back office area.
Okay. Hello, I don't think we've properly...
Good evening, my name is Dr. Lucian. What is the matter?
I'm immediately uncomfortable.
You're immediately uncomfortable. Madam, I have
That was not okay.
I have had that effect on many women, I'll happily admit that, but at the same time,
Ellipsis mentioned you... I mean, it sounds similar to a skill that I have, but I'm looking for something slightly more permanent. I wondered if you might offer some advice.
what sort of advice are you looking for?
So, I make constructs, mechanical. You've met
yeah.
Pivot.
Book ahead.
Sure.
Book ahead, yes.
It's not his name.
I mean, it's a construct. I didn't think it would have a name.
You said his.
He leans forward with the batting the eyelids.
I'm interested in adding. Well, he's always in development, let's say. And one of the things I'd like to do is to be able to communicate instructions to him from a distance. I'm aware of sending as a spell. It's not one that I know specifically.
It is a hard spell to keep in one's mind.
I can infuse spells into objects, but that's kind of it's a limited time span. I'm wondering if it's possible to add something like that on a permanent capacity.
It is something that I could look into.
Because I would be keen to learn.
It would cost you a lot more for me to just make it. But at the same time, it's hard to say this sentence knowing what half of our population does. But a magician doesn't always reveal his tricks.
I understand that.
If you keep an ear to the ground, I'll discuss with my associate, and refers back to the back office where Ellipsis walked through. I will see if you are worthy of a couple of classes. But at the same time, he stretches out, and you kind of hear clicking as every bone kind of pushes out and back into place as he stretches. I am one of the finer enchanters of Menzoberranzan, and there's a reason that is so, is because if I have any challenging young pup come in, they soon find that it is hard to keep this line of work profitable.
I'm interested purely from a development perspective. I could very easily, if it's something that is doable, bring my constructs to you. But I'm aware that I may well make others, or these may become damaged, and it would be
Again,
nice to be able to keep this as a...
I'm happy to oblige if your man says he is happy with you.
Okay,
But that is a discussion for another evening.
certainly.
I'm happy to make said item for you, but I cannot promise that I can show you.
Understood.
Anything else for you?
If you wouldn't mind looking into the possibility of it, it would be greatly appreciated.
But of course. I've got to go have a chat. And he starts to slowly shuffle round and into the back office.
Okay.
What do you do? Do you stay here or do you wander back?
Based on what you just said, I'm going to stay here.
Cool.
I thought I'd be wandering back, but he was like, I'm going to go have a chat like he might come back
Yep.
with a more immediate decision. So I will wait patiently. And especially, actually, yes, because Ellipsis was like, I'm going for an hour.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
then we'll go.
About half an hour passes.
Yeah, I'm just looking around, not touching anything, not,
Yeah.
not being especially nosy.
You
but looking
notice, just so you're aware, that as you start to look a bit more around, there is a simple kind of like light fitting in the middle of the room with like a bead chain hanging down. That's the only thing of us in the room that you can see. Just as you look around, there's no stairs going up in this room. There's just the back office door that you can see. That's all you can see in that room. Is there anything else you would like to do around the area, doing things, or I jump to the bit that happens?
I'll maybe detect magic, just for shits and giggles. If I've got time, I'm going to fill it.
Yeah, no, you detect magic.
I mean, it'll, like, everywhere.
In
probably.
the eye of the storm. There is a very strong magic presence in the room that you are in,
Yes.
let alone
Any particular...
coming off the walls, it is coming off the ceiling, it is coming off the floor. The air in the middle of the room seems to be easy, just normal, but the floor itself and the construct of the building seems to echo some sort of magic. Anything else?
Nah.
No, that's cool.
It was more thinking if you went this particular thing
No.
or this particular direction, then I'd be like, identify. But the whole fucking thing is...
About half an hour passes, and stepping out of the office is
Or maybe just sat there
Lucy.
with my notebook,
yeah,
working out the next thing I want to work on.
Lucian, Ellipsis, and a halfling woman step out of the room. Very simple, about 3 or 4 foot woman, plain robes, quite perky looking. Has if I remember rightly, has a quarterstaff that she walks along with a walking stick, just kind of not leaning on it, but definitely held in one hand, walking along for some sort of support. And Lucian explains that this is your guide. And then, as he guides you free out of the room, out so he can start his shop, apparently, you guys step out into the thoroughfare, and you watch Lucian walk over and pull the light switch in the middle of the room, and the light goes on, and the entire shelves fill up with items. As the light hits it, they start to kind of almost emerge out of nothing. There are flasks. There are notepads with quills that are currently writing on them, as if like a display mechanism of showing this quill that can write without being held. And there are just loads of different little bric-a-brac items that are floating around on the shelves. And you notice that the lights, the simple sign that was Dr. Lucian's outside, suddenly lights up in purples and yellows, and the entire building starts to look like some neon 80s kind of like shop. You're still
See, I went straight to Harry Potter with that. Adam went to a
We
club.
both.
Can we both?
Harry Potter had techno.
Imagine if Gilderoy Lockhart got what he wanted. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so you head back. You meet up with the guys in the pub. There is a weird moment where Seraphina and Suzy meet in the pub.
Oh, I want to ask them both questions.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to my life. You guys spend the evening drinking. You are both all introduced to Seraphina, this halfling woman, who, to make sure I get it right, would you like to briefly describe for us, Kyra?
Well, to make sure I get it fucking right, let me just figure it out. So Seraphina Hawthorne is... One moment. Got a lot of spells.
She's a wizard.
She's a wizard. I can't remember what she looks like though.
Bloody
She's
paper
a halfling, Lightfoot halfling. So she's got nice brown eyes, quite fair hair, lots of freckles, like she burns like a motherfucker. Yeah, she's 2'11".
2'11", sorry. I knew I read it about 3 foot something.
2'11". Yeah. She is, and she's also got a. Where is it? Yeah. Oh yeah. A raven named Stilton. Sat on her shoulder. He's kind of got like a nice shimmer to his feathers.
Yeah.
I'm one of the smallest member of the team.
Cool.
Did you want anything else? Or is
No,
that
that's
it?
fine. As you guys slowly drink into the evening, getting ready for your travel the next day, saying your goodbyes to Suzy for
really
a week or two.
I didn't think of that.
Sorry, what?
But
Got a reason on my shoulder.
She's got a raisin on her shoulder, yeah?
you'll
She
find
has.
it's a raven.
It's a reason.
It's a help raven. Raven.
I've tried just let it
It's a help
go.
reason.
It's called Stilton.
Yeah, it's still the reason. Yeah.
I'm gonna finish this with a really depressing moment, however, because as you're all having a chat and you're saying goodbye to Suzy and such like that, you all turn as Ellipsis gets up and starts to get ready for bed, and you just watch Boggle slowly walk down the stairs, head hung forward, holding onto the banisters, like the splits in the banister to let help himself down to the next step. Ellipsis just picks him up, puts him on his shoulder, and walks out into the thoroughfare.
Sleepy little.
We shall.
Did he get a refund for his room?
Who knows?
Jammy bastard.
Find out
Room.
next time on Alignment Unknown.
Refund. One time, 7 days.
You know, I'm gonna have to start. Like, I've literally only got 3 pages left. I'm gonna have to start another notebook.
Do you know why she's so excited? Because she owned her kink.
Yes, she did.
Notebooks are my
Notebooks.
fucking love notebooks.
She literally has. It's not even a joke anymore. It's like her thing.
It's just
Not
got
my
so
thing,
much
I've got a
potential.
different notebook for each character.
You see that? You see, I like the feel.
That's awesome.
I mean, you're the tidy stationery. I'm just I want everything feels. Do you really fill a notebook up?
I would fill a notebook up, but they're all still alive.
Steve, just cut the feed. Just cut the feed, Steve.
And I'm not
cut the-
disappointed
So,
by that,
ladies
but
and
I
gentlemen,
can't start a new notebook. I can't
I
put
like
someone
the
else in
notebook.
it.
Thank you very much for
Can't do
watching.
it.
I
Shush
like that.
everyone now because we have to do this bit.
The story of their lives.
Everyone, thank you very much for watching. We, as you know, this podcast is coming out as usual. We'll be discussing over the week if we can fix our technical feeds, but watch our Twitter and our Facebook to see if the stream will be happening next week or if it'll be a case of we're still in here. We'll find out. See what happens. All this and more. Because, you know, every now and then, people have notepads that they really enjoy. People have internet issues because they have been owning their king too much. But
My notepad is not good for D&D.
Mine's
It
perfect.
says forget the rules, and you need them, otherwise your DM gets angry.
I mean, nah, I just kind of go, cool, so this means I get to fuck with you because you don't know how the rule works. But yes, keep an eye out for that, and hopefully, if not, we'll see more of this charming room, which you can book by me at the Y Theatre. Anyway, yes, see you next time. Have good sleeps and all that things that people
Wonderful
do.
time.
Goodbye.